Yeah, we're gonna start this off right. This is a lot of good shit, man. I'm telling you, I don't even know where to start. I feel like we should definitely start on the Dallas Mavericks, man. Like the Nico Harrison, the whole fiasco over there, because there's a lot more to this. Are you sick of it yet?
Bro, it's entertaining.
It's entertaining, but yo, the rabbit hole gets deep in this story, boy. It gets deep. Like
Yeah,
it's amazing how much things come out as soon as like, oh, Nico gets fired, and now all this, oh, I didn't like him and I thought this, and everything is leaking out now, amazingly. But it is what it is. We might as well start off with that. Matter of fact, you guys definitely hit up the link in the description below. Check out Samir's Substack. Well, he has articles on Reed Shepherd and Russell Westbrook as of late. Yo, Russell Westbrook has been going crazy. He had a crazy game against Denver. I think they won, the Kings. They beat Denver the second
yeah.
time around. But yeah, man, we're going to
But
get into it,
man,
man. This Nico Harris story gets deep. Yo, I'm not going to lie. I'm about to give it up for the Dallas Mavericks fans. I'm just really going to get into it. Tell them the hardcore, the stone cold truth about what's really going down, man. Because this shit, the rabbit hole definitely gets deep. I don't want to necessarily get stuck on a Nico Harrison getting fired. It's just all the nuances around it. When Mark Cuban initially hired Nico, he didn't really hire Nico fully to have full control of his own job. He was sort of like, Nico, you're sort of the face, but I'm gonna say like yes or no, or kind of sway you into a direction. So it's a
yeah,
lot of middlemen in Dallas, and that's why I say like this whole situation in Dallas, because of Patrick Dumont, he's gonna have to take onus of the team. If he doesn't do that, and he keeps having all these middlemen kind of get information from this guy, and oh, I take advisement from this guy, the Dallas Mavericks will never be successful. Because there's no company that's ever ran where they have success and the boss is like kind of taking advisement roles from like people who are not necessarily the president of operations, like Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd recently, he got an extension, but he kind of has a bigger role than just a head coach. So it's too much of that going on in Dallas. And Mark Cuban is still around. He's in some sort of consulting role. You know what I'm saying? There's too much of that shit. But we're gonna get deep into this story, man, because there's a lot to go over, and Dallas Mavericks fans should really they got to be on alert, because they deserve much better than this. And we're in a new era of the NBA now, where these new owners coming in, their ambitions are not necessarily these teams. These teams are like vehicles, they're like vessels for means to an end, because they're trying to get something else. For example, the Clippers owner, Steve Ballmer, the Clippers are really for him a means to an end to get the land that's in downtown LA by USC. He got the land and he got a stadium out there. And he was even able to get the Forum. So you see all the things he bought because he owned the Clippers. He got prime real estate, land ownership in downtown LA. And then he got the Intuit Dome. That was his real ambition. He keeps saying, oh, Larry OB, but he doesn't really give a fuck about that. His main ambition was acquiring the land and getting the Intuit Dome. Because even if the NBA
yeah,
somehow kicks him out because of the cap circumvention, which they're not even going to do that. But let's just say they do. They're still going to end up paying him. He owns the land. He owns the arena. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? So for the Dallas Mavericks, on their side, we all know this family is not a basketball family that took over the team. And the Dallas Mavericks is a means to an end to get that casino, to get that whole sort of resort with the stadium that's part of it. It's going to be like a hotel, casino, etc. Like that's the real ambitions of these guys. And there's a lot of holes in this whole Luka trade story. We already know what Nico Harrison saying, hey, we want to play defense. We're trying to win now. Even looking at them making this trade, we all know the Luka contract was up. It's going to be 5 years, $345 million extension. And what comes with that extension is a ton of luxury tax payments. So paying $3.5 billion for the Dallas Mavericks and owing $100 million plus in luxury tax every season is not what they were probably looking forward to. You know what I mean? So that's another hole to this story, because the money side is part of it. Again, these are not like the old owners like Mark Cuban when he came in and bought the Mavericks. He was like, "Oh, I'm about winning," because before him, the Dallas Mavericks, they went through a ton of owners when Jason Kidd was playing for them. They went to like 3 different owners from when he was drafted to like his 5th year. Owners bought and sold that team, flipping that team like Bitcoin. So it's just a whole different ball game of just it's like a different class of NBA ownership coming through where they're using these teams as vessels to really get something else that they want. And no offense to Dumont, so far I'm telling you, Mark Cuban, he built up the Mavericks reputation as a contending team year in year out, but so far with Dumont, the Mavericks are sort of looking like the Pelicans, man. I'm not gonna lie. The Pelicans of the Southwest. That's what the culture has looked like, where your own team is shooting free throws to either tie the game or go up, and they're chanting "Fire Nico." So it's been a mess over there. It's just oh man, I could keep going, man, because even with the future draft picks, right? The future draft picks that Dallas actually owes to other teams. Remember, we were talking about this before, right?
Yes.
It doesn't make sense that they even traded away Luka because they're supposed to be contending right now. And if they're not contending, that means they're about to give their in-conference rivals, the San Antonio Spurs and the Houston Rockets, they're about to potentially owe them lottery picks. That's why none of this even makes it just doesn't make any sense. Like, they right now, if they continue to suck, they're gonna owe the Thunder swap rights for 2028. They're gonna owe 2029 the Houston Rockets a first overall pick, and they're gonna owe the San Antonio Spurs a 2030 first pick. That shit doesn't even make any sense, man.
No.
Like,
And with their timeline, they're gonna need those draft picks, to be honest, because I don't see them being good before 2030.
there's too many coincidences. At the end of the day, Dumont did not want Luka, man. They just didn't want to pay that luxury tax. It's okay, Dumont. Like, he didn't want Luka. He don't care about winning no fucking championship. They did business. Mark Cuban feels guilty for selling this team, but he knew exactly who he sold the team to. In his world, he won. He bought the team for X amount of price. He sold it for double that price, quadruple that price. He won, but he feels fucking guilty, man. He feels fucking guilty. Even Tim McMahon exposed that Mark Cuban, as soon as he sold the team, he went to the locker room and told the team that nothing was gonna change. Like, this whole shit it's a mess, man. It is a fucking mess down there. And it's just, this is what it is now. Private equity is coming into the league very slowly. You got a new class of NBA owners. It's not like the old class with like Dr. Buss and Jeannie Buss and her family, where they strive to win championships. It's not that class of billionaires coming into the league. These teams are just like, it's like an investment with upside, because the fan loyalty, they're taking advantage of it. They're like, oh, these fans are loyal. That's why Dumont could raise ticket prices 8% after trading away Luka, because these are just business people.
Of course.
Yeah, I don't know what's your thoughts on that, because the thing is, like, it's real hard. I could only imagine if you're a Mavericks fan, that you grew up with the Dirk days and then you transition to Luka. Your team has been competitive for the most part. But what happens when that branding no longer applies? Like, once Mark Cuban sold the team, that shit was done. Now it's almost like they don't see it, but there's like a cloud, and that cloud looks like the Pelicans. It's the Pelicans aura around the Dallas Mavericks. They're the new Pelicans of the Southwest, and it has nothing to do with the basketball team. It's because of the ownership. It's just too many voices, man, in Dumont's ear. There's just no responsibility. There's just no direction. This shit is a mess. It is a mess, and it doesn't look like it's gonna get fixed anytime soon, because look at the power Jason Kidd has now. Everyone knows he has more power than just being a coach. It's a weird thing. And Mark Cuban is in the building doing consulting. This shit is weird, man. It's a weird setup.
They're in a situation where it's ownership. Now you have a brand new ownership, right? And you have to look at it now. It's a new era. It's not like the Dirk era. It's not the Cuban era or Donnie Nelson Jr. Now it's a brand new ownership. It's gonna take them time to figure it out. And the question is, will they figure it out? And if they're interested in figuring it out, or they're just looking to add the Mavericks onto their portfolio of
N-
things they own and make money out of in the real estate. But the matter with Patrick Dumas, it's he's in charge of the basketball role. So you would think Madeline Albright would Marion Edelson.
But
She would rather put someone who has the basketball experience in the position of governor of the team.
but wait, I want to go back to your point where you said they're trying to figure it out. Do you really think they're trying to figure it out, or right now Dumont's been forced to be in a position where he has to put the appearance like he's trying to figure it out? Because it's just right now this team looks like a means to an end.
I'm looking at it what's apparent right now, right? I don't know what's happening in the backlog of discussions in the front office, but Patrick Dumas, it seems like he has no clue what he's doing in the basketball sphere. I believe he's related to Marion Edelson by marriage or by direct relations, but it seems like he has. It seems like they hired him based off nepotism or based off favoritism. I don't know, but it seems like he has no clue what basketball is or what Luca was and how much of a value Luca holds in basketball.
Boy, hold on,
And so
but
now
hold on.
it's in repercussions from
Perfect. You said that right. Think about this. This is a guy who graduated from Columbia with an MBA. This is a multi-billion-dollar family. Who spends $3.5 billion and goes into something blind, unless that purchase is really a means for something else? You just don't go into something that blindly. Like there's way too many bullshit stories going around. This one kid that talks to Dumont after putting up a middle finger, and Dumont says, "Yeah, I'm sorry for trading Luca. I feel guilty." Like, what is this bullshit? All these stories
Bro, I
coming
don't
out.
buy into that
This is
Disney story.
this is all propaganda, man. Let's just keep it a buck
I
here.
don't I don't buy that
Like
Disney story, to
nobody in
be
the
honest.
media is keeping it honest.
Like I don't buy that Disney story, to keep it real with you.
Yeah, it's just what is that? Like, oh, he doesn't talk to anyone in the media, express any kind of regret for trading Luca. Remember when he said, "Oh, Shaq, we need guys that are gonna stay in shape like Shaq." Like the references he's making doesn't even make any sense. And then all of a sudden, he can give the exclusive scoop to some kid. I find that hard to
Yeah, no,
believe, man.
it's bullshit, man. It's a fake story. But with Patrick Dumas, bro, it's new ownerships. Some of they try to come in cheap. 3 billion is they spent already 3 billion. Now they're looking at saving that money, right? And you brought up Steve Ballmer. You use Ballmer as an example, but one thing you got to get Ballmer. It's yeah, sure he had other other goals outside of the NBA and the hopes of real estate, and obviously he's also increased like the media department of the Intuit Dome, right, with the speakers and all that stuff. But he still kept the main things that sell the Clippers apart, like intact. The Lob City was still intact. Blake, Chris Paul, they were intact. When Chris Paul's time was over, he extended Blake because he knew, hey, we need to sell tickets. When he saw a chance to pivot, he did. He got quiet. So it's much more smarter ownership on Ballmer's part, but the Edelman family, it doesn't seem like they were ever fans of basketball.
No,
Like I get,
it was a full
yeah,
commitment by Ballmer though. It was a full commitment because think about it.
he's a fan.
Before he got approved for the land, when he went after Kawhi and everything, we come to find out this is almost a $500 million cap circumvention to make sure that he secured the star for when he opened up this new arena. He was willing to go that far. But I think the Dumont family, it's almost like an aura of nonchalantness. It's done on purpose, man. This is done on purpose. The Dallas Mavericks are really a means to an end. You ever see the cartoon where you ever seen the Lion King when the pride went hungry and they were picking on the bones when Simba
Yeah,
came back? That's basically the Dumont family. They're going to pimp that Dallas Mavericks that Dallas Mavericks logo until they get their casino. There's business people that are like that. They're there. Mark Cuban knows this. That's the part he's not saying out loud. He knows who he sold the team to. And in a second, we're going to hear from Mark Cuban because he got real defensive when he got pressed about it too. But they're there to pick the bones because they're using the Mavericks as a means to an end. And right now we have a new class of owners, and we also have private equity coming in slowly at the same time, and they're going to pimp out fan loyalty. They're going to pimp that out. They understand. I know the Dumont family don't understand basketball, but they do understand that the product that they have, that's the Dallas Mavericks, has fan loyalty, which they can trade away Luka, then raise the prices 8%. Make that announcement within like what, a month and a half later after trading Luka. So all the signs are there. The Dallas Mavericks fans just have to accept it. All the signs are there.
But also, you look at it with the Mavericks right now, bro. It's like I said, it's a ownership that are not basketball fans, bro. It's what it comes down to. They're fans of the books, making that work, obviously making the real estate thing work. But I just don't think they're ready for the backlash they would face from NBA fans in general, especially the Mavericks. Right? They're one of those teams that sold pretty well. Yeah, fans come by, fans come go. They built a strong basketball culture. Dallas is a strong sporting culture, whether baseball, football, hockey. So I think what they're hoping for, it's fans would accept a new form of a new organization, new everything. But what they're getting now, it's a lot of pushback from just about everyone. They're getting pushback from fans, media. Now, even players, bro. Anthony Davis has not looked really locked in since coming to Dallas. This is someone I can argue is a top 15, top 20 player, but
Yeah, but
since he's been in a Maverick uniform, it seems like he doesn't fit. It
but
seems
they
like he's
all
not
but
really
they
bought
all
into what
see
they're
they
trying to
all
sell.
see the game. They all see the game. They're all in the inside. They see the game. They understand it. This owner is here to pick the bones of the Mavericks. Like it's almost
Yeah.
like those mafia. What is it? The Sopranos. You ever see them pimp out
Yes.
the business and run up all the credit? That's what the
Yeah,
Mavs.
the Davies Casino. The
Yeah,
Davies Casino storyline.
that's what they're there for. That's what they're there for.
Yeah.
They're there to pimp out the Mavericks because owning an NBA team in Texas is like owning a medallion to a casino because you're going to have the rights due to gambling once they open it up. So the Houston Rockets owner, the San Antonio Spurs owner,
Yeah,
the
Tillman
Mavs owner.
Fertitta, same thing. Yep.
But
Tillman Fertitta and what?
the only difference is those owners don't necessarily come from the casino background. Like this family, politically connected, so far they have struggled in Texas so far to kind of get their way, but eventually I'm pretty sure they're going to get their way, but it's going a lot slower than expected. But after spending $3.5 billion on this team, come on, man. You're facing what Luka had a 5-year extension coming up for $345 million. That's $70 million a year. That's just for Luka. That's before you extend Kyrie, and your salary before even extending Luka or Kyrie was already up to 175. So they were facing a luxury tax bill of $100 million a year. That's win
Yeah.
or lose. Win or lose. Luka get hurt or not. They were facing $100 million luxury tax bill. I'm gonna send you two screenshots real quick and just remind you of the luxury tax bills that were due last season from teams like the Phoenix Suns, the Dallas Mavericks right before they traded Luka. They already owed $5 million right before they traded Luka of luxury tax. They already owed $5 million. So the Warriors owed 17, Nuggets owed 20, Bucks owed 28. The Timberwolves owed $83 million when they had Karl Anthony Towns. The Suns with Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker, they owed $150 million in luxury tax. And they were losing. So the position the Suns were in is the same position the Mavs were potentially in. And knowing that Patrick Dumont has an MBA, I know he's not an idiot. Looking at that potential luxury tax bill, and at the same time knowing that they don't know what the fuck they're doing, that they just took over this NBA team to justify themselves getting that casino. This is the part that does not, I'm upset that this is the part that does not get talked about in the media. They all act like they don't know. This is what the Mavs were facing.
Yes.
There's not a peep out of anyone that works for the bigger, like the ESPNs, the Bleacher Reports. Nobody's bringing this up. They got rid of Luka, man. They didn't want to pay it. They didn't want to pay it.
Bro. I mean, it's a given. Obviously, they didn't want to pay Luka. Why else would you trade a top 5 player in the world for what? And make an excuse about his weight?
So Nico Harrison is the fall guy, but
He's
the fans should not be yelling fire Nico. They should be yelling Patrick Dumont's name. That's
Dumont's owner, bro.
Hey,
that's gonna be a whole trust board. Like, that's gonna be a whole board committee willing to throw him out. And he's, like I said, he's related to the Edelson family. They're not throwing him out.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is the fans, they're pointing their anger at the fall guy. But it amazes me how all these little stories leak out, right? All these little stories leak out. But look at everything we just pointed out. The incoming luxury tax bill, the way that this trade never made sense, it even fit. And then Anthony Davis is injury prone and his age, right? The timeline is off, right? And then also mainly the fact that the Dallas Mavericks had to be good with Luka for the next couple of years because they already owed the Thunder, the Rockets, and the Spurs their draft picks until 2030. All their rivals who are already good, they owed them they couldn't suck. They couldn't afford to suck. Knowing all these things and you still give away Luka? We're supposed to stand here and be like, fire Nico? Fire Nico? What about the guy with the NBA and his family just paid $3.5 billion? No one has asked him, hey, were you willing to pay that luxury tax bill on Luka every season? Even Mark Cuban brought up that incoming payment. He was like, oh, I'm just a middle-class billionaire. I can't afford all this. The owning an NBA team is a different asset class. Like nobody, it amazes me. No one's bringing this up. That's part of like the larger mainstream sports media. Like they just don't even bring up the payments. They don't bring up the back end of the Dallas Mavericks. They don't pull up the cap sheets. Be like, yo, nothing makes sense here. Everything I just pointed out, from the draft picks going out to their rivals while their rivals are getting better, to Dumont just, oh my God, this shit is all over the place, man. I'm telling you, this shit is bad, man. It's bad. It's one of the worst. This has to be the worst trade in NBA history. Like, it's not even the worst trade in NBA history. This is the worst transfer ownership in NBA history. That's why Mark Cuban feels so fucking guilty. He knows who he sold the team to. In his world, in the world of business, Mark Cuban won. But the world of fandom and the brand of the Dallas Mavericks, everyone else lost. That's why he's sticking around. Who the hell cashes in for $3.5 billion and is sticking around through the mess? Because he feels guilty. He feels fucking guilty.
I don't think it's guilt, bro.
So what do you think it is? Because all he is a consultant. He could only advise. He doesn't have any final say.
Who, Patrick Dumas?
Mark
Nico
Cuban.
Harrison?
Mark Cuban.
Mark Cuban, bro, I think it's mostly just like Mavericks fan base pressure, to be honest with you, than it's actual guilt. Bro, you sold it for $3.5 billion. You've listed your reasons for it. Bro, like, come on, man.
And he's made 1,000 appearances acting all sad and saying, oh, I didn't know, and oh, it's this, it's that. It's
bro,
who the hell? He does not look like a winner. He does not look like someone who cashed out. He looks like someone that just made a transaction and he's having or maybe he's branding himself, because there's a lot of little lies. Oh, I had control. They were supposed to ask me. Oh, I wasn't advised. I would have never done that. There's so many clips of this dude talking about this fucking trade.
Bro, Cuban is a bullshitter. There's many reasons why he's a bullshitter.
Matter of fact, we might as well get to it, man. We might as well get to them pressing Cuban about lying. They pressed Mark Cuban about lying about having power after he sold the team. Oh, and he got fucking defensive as a motherfucker, man. They couldn't even edit that shit out.
So a year out.
The year before.
And what did he say?
He was shocked, right? I mean, he was surprised like everybody else was. and I gave him the same reasons that I've given you guys. That it just was time. It'd been 22 years at that point. I thought I was going to be in a position where I'd be able to continue to run the team. But it wasn't at that point I thought I'd be in a position to run the team, but I thought when I sold, as you guys know. But all the same reasons, my kids, estate, just the level of the way media and everything treats sports,
Sure.
And the other side of it was that I explained to him is, in the board of governors meetings, it went from being very entrepreneurial. What can we do to make the NBA better for fans to how can we increase valuations?
Sure.
And those are two very different types of businesses. It went from, private equity is not allowed to private equity dominating.
And private equity will dominate, and they don't give a fuck about that fan loyalty. It's how much we could increase the valuations while pimping out that fan loyalty. That's exactly what's happening in Dallas. This is a quick side note.
Private equity is all about increasing, the valuation of the teams. And I would try to explain to people, like when I bought the Mavs for $285 in 2000, it was worth $285 in 2010 when we couldn't sell the New Orleans franchise. And the Sixers got bought for pretty much the same amount of money 10, 11 years later. And so, I think the NBA is losing a step on the entrepreneurial side and the fan side. Like the guys at the Warriors say, it's not show fun, it's show business.
Sure.
And I never ran it that way. And there were a lot of other individual owners that never ran it that way, but that's not the way it's being run today.
But wasn't the fact that you had this pre-existing relationship with the Adelsons, wasn't that a huge contributing factor that you could sell the team because you thought you knew?
No,
who you
not
were
when I sent the
selling to?
email. No, it was just like that was there. And I didn't realize they had that kind of interest. I thought that I would just partner with them just to build a new arena.
Watch him get tight right here. He's going to get mad right here. The interview is going to keep pressing the question.
I didn't realize that it was at that point in time, I had no idea that they'd be interested in buying it. None.
So when you started to mention about the basketball operations portion of this, was it your understanding that once the team was sold that you would be in control?
Yeah.
Was that something that you wanted to have in writing when it came
I
to
did have it in writing. Look, I don't want to get into all
Sure.
this stuff again.
Sure.
Right. I've said all this stuff before, go Mavs.
Sure.
I'm still there for the Mavs. I'm still positive about the franchise going forward. I'm still going to help all I can. But there's no reason to go through all that stuff again. Like I've said before, there was a clause in there that gave me the right to be in every meeting, every trade discussion, everything, and the NBA took that out.
Understood.
I just have to say for the record, the NBA disputes that and says they did not. So I'm just.
Oh, I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you later, right? It says you have the right.
They dispute the part about them saying they're the ones that took it out.
Who the hell do you think took it out? I mean, I've got the letter from my lawyer saying the NBA made us remove it.
So you're not motivated to follow up with them and say, why was this removed?
I don't give
in
a
my
fuck. At
case?
this point, it's done. I signed the contract. It's contract is signed. It was signed on the line that was dotted. There's nothing I can do
Sure.
at this point in time to change any of it. So what's the point?
And he's right. He don't give a fuck. He cashed out. That's the part. Like
Right.
when he expressed that, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, Mark, be real. Keep it a buck. You cashed out. So stop pretending, I'm a consultant. Oh, they didn't tell me about Luka trading him. You cashed out, man. You didn't give a fuck. Right here, they confirmed it. He knew this family for a minute. He know what kind of business people they were. He knew. Mark Cuban knows who these people are and what are their real ambitions. They're gonna use this team as a vehicle to get what they want.
Bro, it's billionaire hypocrisy Mark Cuban publicly displayed. I think it has more to do with basketball than it has to do with basketball. Obviously, the Edelman family is associated with Donald Trump. Obviously throughout this administration, Mark Cuban has presented himself as to be a full-blooded liberal, right? So now, obviously, there's gonna be a lot of talk about his own character and who he's willing to deal with and surround himself with. He's painted himself as like kind of the liberal billionaire. Now the question's gonna be like, oh, Mark, you're willing to sell it to someone that's.
But at the end of the day, Green has no party. Green
Yeah,
has
Green
no
has
party.
no party. But that's what I'm saying, right? But you have to fool someone. You have to sell it to your base, who are eventually going to question, like, yo, you claim to be pro-liberal, pro-Democrats, whatever, but you're willing to sell it to the most hard-coded, red-blooded Republican. Also with basketball, with him, it's all about fan favoritism, right? He doesn't want that Dallas, to turn to like any future business he has in Dallas. He doesn't want to harm the money that comes in or the money he's going to make in the future. So what? You throw in the buyers under the bus. Mark Cuban knew 100% what he was doing. Mark Cuban, he was a willing participant. It isn't like a handshake deal. This took months and involved lawyers, parties bigger than Mark Cuban and the Edelman families and the Dumas and all them.
Yeah, and
So
plus, when they make deals like this, right, they have to get to know the people, because Mark Cuban has to introduce the other owners, have to approve them into that community. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
So at the end of the day, Mark knows these people real ambitions, and I know deep down inside he won't say it out loud. It did not shock him when they traded Luka, because he was avoiding being part of the Mavericks when that payment came due of paying Luka the 5-year, $345 million supermax.
Dude, he's talked about it on the Flagrant podcast with Andrew Schultz and all those guys. So, like, I've seen interviews where he's talked about, before the Luka trade, he's gleeing about the new owners, welcoming them, normalizing them within sports fans, right? But then now it's easy to kind of condemn them or throw them under the bus for the fact of that matter. I also think his whole goal is, you still need Maverick fans to come to those games, right? Whether Mark Cuban or not, because that's even if he sold it, that's still him. He's part of Dallas Mavericks forever, so you still need people to buy the tickets and all that stuff. So Mark Cuban, and I also think he's minority owner, right?
Yeah, he's a minority owner.
Like,
Well, allegedly,
what,
I just put that as allegedly, because honestly, it's been so many lies. I don't even know what to believe, because he lied in this interview right here. The interviewer was right. The NBA said that that language was never in those contracts, so they don't know where the fuck this is coming from.
But I'm talking surface level from what we know, right? That he owns a certain portion of the team.
Yeah, they said about 27%.
So by surface level, we'll give him benefit of the doubt or whatever, that he does own the team, even if we don't know if it's true or not. So he has a incentive in getting fans to come to the games. He's gonna hype up the Mavericks, whatever have you. So that's Mark Cuban's end goal, bro. It's to make a profit. He doesn't give a shit about they trade Luka or don't trade Luka. Like, I'm sure he had a good relationship with Luka, but come on, man. You sold the team. You knew who you sold it to. You normalized them within your own fan base. There was optimism. You sold them at the peak of the Mavericks. They went to the finals. Like, you know what you were doing, man. Like, we can't act stupid or oblivious. I honestly think things like NBA fans are stupid, man. That's what it comes down to.
They do, but once again, the problem with Cuban is that he branded himself with the Mavs, right? And he's won in his world. He cashed out. He did his thing, but look at the family
he's won
he
in
sold
every
it
world.
to.
What world did he not win in? Like, what world did he not win in? Like, we're not gonna act like Mark Cuban 100% gives a fuck about basketball. If it wasn't a profitable league, he wouldn't have put his foot in.
But right here in this interview, the real him came out when he said, "I don't give a fuck." That's the real Mark right there. That's the real way he feels about this whole situation.
Dude, this is Mark Cuban is one of many billionaires, bro. At the end of the day, he's made his money and left. You know,
like he said, I didn't give a fuck. I signed the contract.
Yeah,
that's what he said. I don't give a fuck. Contract.
Bro, he's a businessman. He's a crude capitalist. Like, the whole idea now, like I said, it's about politics, and it's about the kind of his reputation within Dallas and his future endeavors and whatever business he wants to open up in Dallas.
Which is the pharmaceuticals. You're right.
Yeah. So, for him, it's like, oh shit, I can't have people like, because Mark Cuban is into that politics. I hope he doesn't run. But if he runs, he wants to run under Democrats. This will be something they'll probably slander him on. Sell him to the Edelman family or Edelson family, whichever. Marion Edelson, Edelman, one of those two. That's going to come up within political circles. Basketball circles, his legacy is going to be questionable, selling to those families and ruining a very well-built organization. So, in business-wise, Dallas fans, maybe they're forgiving, I don't know. But that also comes into question. So I think more about protecting his brand and his future endeavors than it is
Yeah.
about giving a shit about Luka trade.
But going back to Dallas fans too, man, it's because this is mainly who I feel bad for, and no one's really speaking up for them because, like Cuban said, everything is about the evaluation. So right now, their fandom is on a spreadsheet, and it says, "Hey, we got to raise tickets 8% after trading away Luka," and also there's a culture that kind of started with Mark Cuban that's festering behind the scenes in Dallas. And it's one of the reasons why it's going to kind of hinder them from being successful going forward with Dumont being there. And that is when Mark Cuban was there, he hired Nico Harrison, but he hired him almost as like I don't want to say a mule in his position, but he didn't have full power. And so when Dumont came through and bought the team, Harrison wanted to report and just have a chain of command directly through Dumont. So he kind of tried to curve Mark Cuban because he was around sort of serving this fake consultant role. So instead of Nico Harrison kind of going through Mark Cuban, he told Dumont, let's just speak to me and you directly. I don't want to deal with Cuban. So right now, with the way Dumont kept Jason Kidd on the Mavericks instead of going to the Knicks in the offseason, Kidd has a lot more power than just head coach. So even though now Nico Harrison is gone, there's almost like a similar chain of command where there's like voices. There's like too many side voices. Like, I'm not the team president, but hey, let's just do this. Let's go in this direction. Trade this player. Like this culture. My bad. I just want to say this. This culture just Dumont hearing a bunch of side voices and giving guys more power, as far as like their opinions or what they think should go on. That has to get cut down, man. There has to be a team president, a GM. There has to be a more streamlined chain of command.
You need a proper infrastructure. We saw that with the Knicks for what, like close to 2 decades, man. Where it was like Phil Jackson comes in, he doesn't know what the fuck. He's picking whoever he deems that it fits within whatever he
James
wants.
Dolan, Isaiah Thomas years,
Isaiah Thomas. You could talk Scott Perry. All those guys, bro. You saw a lot of competition.
Yep. There was a lot of there was always a lot of side voices in that building. Is one reason there was never a clear direction. And I'm telling you, behind the scenes in Dallas, it's lined up. Even with Nico Harrison fired, it's lined up the same way. This time it's going to be Jason Kidd. This time it's going to be Jason Kidd, and it's a weird thing. They need to cut that off. Dumont needs to cut that off by the nose, man.
But that's also Nico Harrison's fault. You were supposed to be the GM. You made a business decision.
No, but the thing is, he was made GM without any real power. Because peep this, right? Now that Nico's fired, everything's coming out. They said Nico had no power. That Nico even blamed Cuban for Jalen Brunson letting him get away and trading for Christian Wood. Once again, Mark Cuban kind of served as like he used Nico as like the face, but he was making the decision. So Nico didn't really have like a clear path to stand firm and have the ability to make a decision. So he blamed he stated that's one of the reasons why Jalen Brunson got away, and they made a bad choice of signing Christian Wood, a player that Jason Kidd already didn't want on the team.
But I genuinely think, bro, they're just scapegoating each other at that point, bro. Like Nico Harrison, regardless, you have to be fired. Either you're an idiot or incompetent, or you're weak and have no role in your team. No, you have to get fired at that point. What else can you do?
What I'm telling you is what Tim McMahon has stated. What's going on with Dallas internally? He stated that it's a well-known thing that when Nico Harrison was hired, but he was kind of clipped. His voice was clipped. It almost had to go through Cuban. Cuban really was kind of making decisions over him.
That's all ownerships and GMs, to be honest with you.
But it was different. It was different with Nico. Nico was always, he was sort of like the only reason, basically Tim McMahon was saying the only reason Nico was hired because he was a Nike rep and he had a lot of relationships with players, so he was supposed to help the Mavericks during free agency, but he wasn't really hired to make like firm roster decisions. See, that really wasn't what Cuban kind of really had in mind for him. You know what I mean?
And
So
then when Dumas and those family came in, right? He
The-
consolidated power to make roster changes, if I'm not wrong. He gave Klay Thompson I assume. So what you're saying, he wasn't a part of a lot of the Mavericks' decisions the past,
it really went through
past
Cuban.
2
The
seasons.
thing is that
Cuban was gone. Like what at the start of Nico Harrison's administration, we're talking what 2022 Western Conference Finals run.
okay.
And
Let,
he
let, let me
believed
let me
Mark
let me tell
built the
wait.
team.
Let me tell you the story
Yeah.
of how it happened, because Tim McMahon spilled the beans on all of this. It's all out there. So basically, when Patrick Dumont bought the team, due to the fact of making the NBA Finals, that built up confidence in Nico Harrison. But it was like a false confidence, because it was like, hey, look, we got to the finals. Let me go through Nico. And Nico used that to his advantage to convince Dumont that, hey, we don't have to talk to Cuban. I don't have to keep checking in with Cuban. Let me just talk to you and more of a chain of command. And that's one of the reasons why the Luka stuff kind of slipped past a lot of people. Like, he kind of built up credibility because of that finals appearance when Dumont first bought the team.
Bro, I'm not saying what he like. Obviously, there's noise behind, you know, like there's noise everywhere, and he's following the noise, right? Now, do I believe that he might? Do I believe that he might not have control under Mark Cuban when it comes to roster construction? Bro, I half-heartedly believe in that. Sure, Mark Cuban maybe was more hands-on, but bro, roster construction as a GM, who else is doing it besides you? Who else is doing it beside the GM? That's their job. You're supposed to construct a roster. I don't believe that 100% Mark Cuban made every decision on everything. And also, like I said, Mark, Mark was out the picture by 2023, 2024. By then, you constructed that roster you took a lot of credit for in 2024. And, then obviously 2025, you decided to trade Luka, Grimes. You brought in some guys that you thought would fit under, like obviously Anthony Davis with the Nike rep.
Oh,
So it's like,
hold on. You said
yeah.
he traded. In my opinion, Dumont traded Luka. It wasn't.
Oh, Dumont traded Luka, but man,
It wasn't
but
Nico.
it's not like,
This
but it's
this
not
was
like, bro,
clearly
Nico.
business.
But Nico also had a role. Like Nico was the one talking to teams, right? It
No,
was Nico's responsibility.
Nico
to
was
talk
made the
to
face.
people.
Yeah, he probably negotiated,
But
but they were ready
Nico
to
was
trade
negotiating
Luka.
with Rob Pelinka. Rob Pelinka and Nico both agreed on that in their press conferences. Ownership played a huge role, but Nico was in the rooms where they're making those decisions. At the end of the day, so for me, it's like, man, you as a GM, this is your job. You had no way in what decisions is being made final, and you obviously made the calls to make that trade. You didn't get anyone of value, at least close to Luka or a quarter of Luka. That's where it comes down to at the end of the day. You didn't get the draft picks. You didn't get a franchise building star. You got nothing off of the trade. You made the calls. Rob Pelinka and both Rob and Nico, they were talking for months that, we're willing to trade. And there was also rumors that Nico and Luka had their issues behind closed doors. So for me, it's like, it makes sense why Nico was a scapegoat. He represents a portion of the problem, but the overall problem, it's the Mavericks as a whole, from top to bottom, whether ownership or whoever comes in as GM, Jason Kidd, everyone's a problem, man. At that point, you have to clean out shop. At this point, or is unrealistic, but at this point, you might have to. If I'm the Dumas family, I fire everyone and start from fresh. But I do think Nico got the criticisms he deserves, because unfortunately, when you're the face, you're gonna face criticism. But there's a lot of incompetency on his end, if we're keeping it real. Especially like, okay, sure, the owners are like, yo, we need to trade Luka, but man, you could have got a decent to good deal around it. And not only that, you took credit for the draft pick and making it seem like 1,000 IQ move. You lucked into that first round pick.
Facts.
Imagine Dallas get the 13, 14 pick, man. We'd be like, what the fuck?
This is man. I can't wait for the real official book to come out on this story, man. I'm telling you, there's just a lot more to it, and
Yeah.
But the biggest losers is the Dallas Mavericks and their fandom. Their fandom
Their
is
fandom's the biggest loser, man. Nico's gonna walk with $1 million. Like, he got fired, bro. Now he's just he's gonna go to Cancun or to the Turco Islands and have a pina colada and enjoy the millions he's gonna make. Same with Mark Cuban is making billions. But let me add this. I think Mark and Nico, they're going to keep throwing shots at each other, escaping accountability for what happened. Like, take my man, they're passing on information to him, obviously. They're going to keep, like, throwing jabs at each other. Obviously, Tim's sources are going to be from both parties. So they're going to keep throwing jabs at each other. Whether Nico's going to be like, I didn't construct the roster. Mark Cuban's going to be like, I like gave you control to construct the roster. They're both going to throw each other on the bus because they both know they're never going to face repercussions for it.
But you know,
Like, the Mavericks are not...
it's interesting you just brought up Tim McMahon because he also brought up the fact that Mark Cuban's been, I'm trying to quote him exactly. He said Mark Cuban's been penny pinching ever since Jalen Brunson's deal came up. So he already knew that he kind of hinted. He doesn't want to say, like, these guys never want to talk about the money. There were bills due. Wait, hold on. There were bills due. Even though Mark Cuban, quote unquote, is a billionaire, there were bills due. They were upcoming. And this guy bailed out, cashed out, and he's shocked that the new guy did not even understand the value of paying that $100 million luxury tax. Like this, I'm telling you, when Luka got traded, he was not that shocked, man. Come on, he was. But let's be honest,
Mark historically has been a cheap ass owner. Like, we all like love that he jumps up and argues with the refs. But man, you are a Knicks fan. You got Tyson Chandler straight off of a championship run where he played a gigantic role as a rim protector. You talk about trading away Steve Nash. This is not the one-off thing. He has a history of trading off or giving or letting key players walk away.
No, that's a good points. Good points.
Like, this is Mark Cuban's always been cheap. He's always been cheap, man. Like, think about it. A championship winning center, Tyson Chandler. You don't let that go. He went to the Knicks and became defensive player of the year. Mm-hmm. He was a great double player. You don't let those type of players go. Mark Cuban did.
Sheesh.
Same with Steve Nash. Steve Nash went on to be a 2-time MVP player. Jalen Brunson, Luka, bro. Like, at some point, like, fuck Nico Harrison, yes. But at some point, you also have to look at it and say, yo, fuck Mark Cuban. This guy also has a history of making very shitty decisions when it comes to basketball and penny pinching. Mm-hmm. It is a new concept in Dallas basketball. He's done it himself. Like, bro, you tell me an owner who didn't pay Dirk Nowitzki his full-on money every time Dirk took a pay cut. Bro, you signed Tyson Chandler. You signed not Tyson Chandler, Chandler Parsons. The Mavericks were never a team that acquired big free agency in their lives.
Yeah, they didn't. That's another thing too. It was really just DeAndre. DeAndre Jordan and even that backfired.
Bro, even he pulled out, man. Yeah, all it took was the Clippers. I don't know, kidnapping him in his house.
But at the end of the day, the Dallas Mavericks fandom is really nailed to the cross right now. It's being crucified. And it's being crucified by private equity and the new class of billionaire owners who have other outside ventures, other businesses, man, that they have to just, it's other outside ventures, man, for them to just pimp out this Dallas Mavericks logo. All that sweat equity Mark Cuban spent the last 20 years when Dirk was around, building up the Mavericks brand as being a brand of just consistently competing and just having that kind of competitive NBA franchise aura is done. The minute he sold it, the new people that took over, you can see it. The dysfunction was almost like right away. It was like Luka went to the finals, and then how do you go from going to the finals to getting the #1 lottery pick? Like, this shit don't even make any sense. We've never seen it doesn't make any sense.
And you know what's a shame about the Mavericks, man? Like, Cooper Flagg's having a really good rookie year, man. And it seems like, bro, unfortunately, due to, bullshit politics and basketball, storylines with Nico Harrison and Mark Cuban and the Dumas and the, the Miriam and all those scandals.
Even his mother made a comment because of the booze. Like, is that bad? You could tell it's affecting
him. Bro, he doesn't deserve it.
Like, This is crazy, man. This is a complete. I've never seen an NBA franchise completely have a 180 like this after making the finals. Like, I've never
Bro, it's
seen
sad,
this
bro.
before.
Like I said, bro, I think what's going on with the Mavericks, bro, is a disservice to the fandom. And it's a disservice to the player, bro. Like I said, Cooper Flack's having a great rookie year. Very impressive rookie year, man. He's showing out to be a really good player. Only 18 years old. You know, had a crazy 35 ball game against the Clippers. But now look at him, man. He's stuck in an incompetent franchise where nothing makes sense. Nothing.
Yeah. The biggest losers by far. I feel bad for the Dallas Mavericks fans. They deserve better, and they were set up to have really good basketball for the next 10 years.
Bro,
That team was good. That team was
decade.
fucking good, man. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sick.
Bro, they were fun. The Clippers were fun.
No,
Not the
I'm talking
Clippers,
about
man.
Dallas
The Mavericks were fun. You know what I mean? And it's a damn shame, bro, that, you know, what the fuck can you do? It's a damn shame.
It's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate. But, you know, hey, it is what it is. They're the new Pelicans of the Southwest, not because of the team on the court. It's because of the owner. I'm telling you. We're about to see this. We're about to see a whole new NBA and whole new crop of owners, especially if Adam Silver lets all this private equity come in the league. They're going to pimp out everyone's fandom to the point where a lot of fans might start getting turned off from the NBA in general. Like, that's the problem with letting private equity in. But that's how money hungry some of these owners are. They're not looking.
The league is money hungry, man.
That's
like the whole league is money hungry.
Yeah, that's how. Honestly, I think the NBA is actually more money hungry than the NFL. Is that they just never had the leverage to look like it. They just never had. They just never had access to the money the way the NFL does, because the NBA, at least the NFL, has always made their games available to everyone locally. The NBA has never been like that.
More grounded, man. I've always felt like NFL has always been more grounded than the NBA.
Yeah, the NBA is always reaching. Oh, now you got to sign up for a bunch of streaming services. It's like, it's always been. Oh, we're on TNT. They were never on, like, you know. It's just not accessible for kids. I feel like a kid could turn on the TV and see, you know, his local NFL team and see the games. They can't do that. There was never a point in the NBA where that was the case.
Like, even NFL, bro. Like, bro, let's be honest. It's not an idea of like, oh, the New York Giants is the only team that matters, and everyone else is like whatever. You know, you never see like, you know, it sounds stupid if you told like, I don't know, the New York Giants, Kansas City Chiefs should trade Patrick Mahomes to the New York Giants because, you know, marketability and franchise and yada yada yada. You never seen that, bro, because it sounds stupid. If Stephen A. Smith were to say it about, you know, Patrick Mahomes or what else? Who else is a star? You know, Lamar Jackson, even though his team kind of sucks. Any star QB, bro, you wouldn't hear those kind of talks. But the fact of the matter is, you know, because the NFL has always been like presented as a middle class game where your father comes home, he drinks a beer and watch NFL. The NBA, man, with the media and kind of the players too, for the most part, has always been kind of a luxurious like presentation, despite it being a very simple sport.
Yeah.
Like, oh, market is this, market is that. The Bucks need to get rid of Giannis so we can play in a bigger market. It's unfortunate, but bro, that's how kind of the basketball is designed. That's how the NBA has been designed since forever.
Speaking of a very unique market, the Sacramento Kings. Did you see that fan go off?
Bro,
on
I was
Zach
happy that
LaVine?
fan went off. Bro, it's a joke. It's a fucking joke, man.
But he's right though. He's right, and he doesn't have to worry because in the future, the way the owners set up the NBA now, the class of like Zach LaVine, Andrew Wiggins that got the guaranteed max deal when he was in Minnesota, Karl Anthony Towns, these type of guys in this new NBA going forward, they can't get a max deal like that. They don't. That convenient super max is done, and that fan, he's not gonna have to worry about seeing a Zach LaVine type make all that money and just have that lackluster energy. But he went off, and this is what Zach LaVine is probably not ready for. Because remember, I always told you in the East Coast, the fan base, they take offense to when guys don't fucking put out energy and effort. And unfortunately for Zach LaVine, this fan is from New York. Yo, he's from New York. I had a feeling. I was like, this dude sounds like he's from New York. He went off on him. Let's just check it out real quick. This shit is crazy.
What's up, guys? Apparently, I'm viral for getting kicked out of the game last night. Before I even start this video, a lot of people in my DMs, they want to interview me, want to know what happened, what's going on, and all that stuff. And then there's people like, yo, I love what you did. I want to support your site, but nothing's on your site. Now let's get to the game. And before I even get to that, let me apologize to my wife first and foremost, because she was with me, and so she had to get kicked out with me, and that's embarrassing for her, and I apologize to her. I also apologize to the security that mind my section. Glenn, Ken, I'm sorry that you guys, had to restrain me. I apologize. And then to the brother, I forget your name, with the bald head who walked me out there, I apologize to you too. I was livid, and you didn't deserve, to have to push me out of the game. I should have just left. But basically what happened is, after not one, not two, not three, not four, but after the sixth time, Zach Lavine leaves his man wide open for a three. Doug Christie calls the timeout. They come over to the bench. I say, yo, we don't pay to watch you not play defense. And Zach Lavine looks at me and says, then go home, nigga. I see people saying he called me a bitch. He did not call me a bitch. He said, because if he did, it would have been way worse than what y'all saw. But he didn't do that. So I'm not going to put that on him, right? But he said, then go home, nigga. Take your ass home, nigga. So I started letting him have it. I was like, no, I pay to be here. You go home. You getting paid over $40 million. You only got 8 points, and we in the fourth quarter. You didn't show up. Once again, you didn't show up. All these fans in Sacramento, they deserve better than that. This is one of the dopest and best fan bases. I'm not even from Sacramento. I'm from Brooklyn. I moved out here when I was in the military. I got out, created my business, became super successful, and I had signed Montrezl Harrell. We were making his sneakers. I went to one Kings game. The arena, the staff, everybody was so dope. They hit me up and said, you want to be a season ticket holder? And I said, yup. And I got to watch Fox. I got to make it to the playoffs. I got to watch Coach Brown. All of that stuff, from Doug coming up from Sacramento legend and being a coach. All of that stuff. I come to every game. I drive an hour and a half there and an hour and a half back. So that's 3 hours of my day that I come to watch you guys play. I cheer as loud as possible. I cheer till my voice is hoarse for this team. So to have a player that we say, we don't come here to watch you not play defense, get a fucking attitude and tell a fan, then go home, nigga. No, you go home and find your fucking game. How?
Yo, that's that New York coming out of him right there. You go home and find your game. Facts, man. I feel him on that. That's years of watching bullshit ass Knicks games, man. I'm telling you, it does that to you. But I'm gonna let him finish.
How about that? Go home and find a game that you left there, because you're not bringing it to the arena. And that's all this is about. The last game before that, we watched y'all fight back and win in overtime against the Timberwolves, to come back to this game and see you put no effort. That's all the fans want, is effort. Sacramento Kings have some of the best fans. They have some of the best, if not the best, people that work in that arena. From the security at the metal detectors when we come in courtside parking, all of those ladies and gentlemen are super sweetheart. And that's why I come to the game, because I know we losing games, but it's the people that you get to be around, right? Me and my wife connect with a lot of the employees there, and even the other courtside season ticket holders. We link up, we go out, we talk business. You know what I'm saying? So that, for the people asking why I go to the games, why am I a Sacramento Kings fan? If we suck in all of this, it don't matter. It don't matter, because what matters is the players that's on the court need to play like the fans deserve. That's it. I'm just a fan that want to see y'all actually try. And when we losing 41-16 in the fourth quarter, after coming back 2 nights before, whatever, and this is the effort we get now, that's all we want, guys. We just want to see y'all play with effort. We don't want y'all to be mad at us for telling y'all not playing defense. I played sports as a kid. That's what you want. You want to be held accountable. I don't know if this new era, I'm older than all the players on the team, but where's the accountability? You should know you playing like trash.
What are your thoughts?
Bro, he's right, man. I mean, dude, when you look at the Sacramento Kings, it's a fucking shit show out there, man. You have, bro, on surface level, it's not a bad roster. You have, Sabonis, All-Star. You have Zach Lavine, an All-Star, basically, or, Colster, an All-Star. Russell Westbrook, Hall of Famer. And, bro, he's probably been the best player on this team. a fucking 35-year-old Westbrook is your best player, bro. It's a joke.
As the money keeps growing in the league, it's gonna be in a weird position when you have players making 60, 70 million dollars a year, and the effort is half-ass. And it's
Bro, players have to give a fuck. That's the problem. Players don't give a fuck. Bro, I turn on tonight, I'm bored. I'm like, fuck it. Since like I've been renovating my house, I have time. I watch, I put on the basketball game for the Lakers and Pelicans. Zion's wearing street clothes. Jordan Poole's wearing street clothes. Bryce McGowan, God bless him, bro, but he's on the starting lineup. Like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, man, if a person like Zion's not giving a fuck. I see John Morant wearing street clothes on the bench. I see Zach Lavine not giving a fuck. It's like, bro, what the fuck are we paying these? Like, what the fuck are these players getting paid for? It's a fuck.
Now, hold up. All those guys you mentioned, what do they have in common?
Bro, they're not living up to whatever hype they have.
No, but their salary has something in common, right? Their salaries,
yeah, they're expensive.
No, their salaries are not. I wouldn't say expensive. Not in today's NBA. Their salaries are between, I would say, 35 mil, 40, all the way up into 60 mil, right? Let's just say that's the range.
Yeah.
Today, if you notice, there's a lot of guys on the trade block, but teams are not really interested. Like we heard Ja Morant, teams didn't really seem that interested because of his price point. Zach Lavine right now is out there. Sabonis, all these guys are making $40 million a year, like $40 million plus. The NBA right now, you don't think it's in a weird place where you have these players that came off of the old max contracts, but yet no one kind of wants them, and their current team that they're on doesn't necessarily want them either?
Bro, but why the fuck should they want them, man? If I'm a Pelicans fan, why the fuck would I want Zion? If I'm a Sacramento Kings fan, outside of Russell Westbrook, why the fuck would I want to have Zach Lavine, who's not giving me any fucking effort? DeMontis Sabonis, who's not giving any effort, who can rim protect. Bro, okay, the numbers are nice, but man, what the fuck are we doing being a play-in team?
Okay,
and when you're
I'm gonna toss another one at you. What about LaMelo Ball? Wouldn't he be in the same boat?
100%, bro. If you're not out there playing and you're not putting in the 100% effort and you're not playing on both sides of the court and you have a nonchalant attitude, bro, honestly, what else can you say besides go fuck yourself? Your fan base, they're not, Mark Cuban rich. They're your average, your average working class man who comes with his kids and family to watch a basketball game, or a couple college kids. Bro, like, at least put on a decent amount of effort and, give them a good 2 hours of entertainment. That's the problem with a lot of players, bro. It seems like bro,
wait, hold on. Is it really a lot of players, or is it a certain player? A certain player,
bro. It's a lot of players, man. You could go down.
I would say it's a certain player that's paid under the old max rules. Because remember, we spoke about this before. The end of the convenient max, right? It's the end of that. The end of guys like like you could even say Brandon Ingram under the old rules, he would have got a $40 million plus deal. But now he only got 30, and look what he's doing in Toronto. He's underpaid.
I'm talking about a lot of players that I've seen come and go, bro, as fans. Not even these guys, bro. DeAndre Ayton, when he got paid crazy. Fucking, Bradley Beal. I feel like I could name a ton of players that I can't name.
Oh, yeah, Bradley Beal's, he fits into that category.
Beal.
But there's very few guys that make that kind of money, the $40 million range to 60, that are worth it. I would say OG Anunoby on the Knicks. He's kind of around that 40 mil range. He's worth it. Yeah. Julius Randle was looking for that money, but he didn't get it. I think Kevin Durant. Hold on. I think Kevin Durant's gonna get that kind of extension from the Rockets.
Bro, Randle, at least he plays with fucking effort, man. I would watch some of these guys. I'm like, man, where the fuck's the effort in actually trying to up your team, bro? Zach Lavine, I don't know, bro. It's bullshit, bro. He's full of shit for saying that kind of things to his fan base, bro. Like, these guys, like, bro, you didn't do them a favor by playing, bro. They paid you to play. At least give them a decent game for, I don't know, 2-3 hours, bro. You're paid $40 million for it, bro.
And by the way, the Kings are 2-8 in their last 10 games. So
yeah, exactly, bro. Zach Lavine, number one, you never been a fucking winning player. You had one season, that's it. one season where you made the playoffs.
I don't think he's ever
Minnesota,
even won a playoff game or series. I don't think
he never won a playoff series. Bro,
Yeah.
you've been in the playoffs one time, you didn't go for past the first round. You know,
Yeah.
you've been a good player, very good player. Zach Levine's he's entertaining player too. But man, come on, like what is this arrogance? Like at that point, you're better off telling the whole arena to go fuck yourselves.
Yeah, there's quite a few. See, that was the problem with the NBA under the older rules in the old CBA that just passed. That was the issue I had with it. There were too many guys who averaged the most points on their team, and all of a sudden they automatically qualify for a supermax. Remember, in Minnesota, they gave Wiggins and Towns the supermax, but they didn't want to give Jimmy Butler shit. I didn't understand that.
It's a fucking joke. Bro, at some point, I'm happy the NBA is moving on what is the product on the court instead of what we think you could be. Oh, if we paid him this much, his attitude changes. Okay, yeah, he's smiling for the first 2 days, but then later on, when you go back to your same old bullshit, you can't cry now. Like, what the fuck did we do? It's you know, it's stupid, bro. It's a stupid mentality, it's stupid thinking. Sacramento fucking lost that trade with De'Aaron Fox. No matter what, you traded a homegrown talent, and now you brought in Zach Lavine, who doesn't care clearly enough to win basketball games. The Sacramento Kings are shit. You know, they're not even a play-in team. They're not a team that can really tank because they have too much talent on the roster.
No, they have way too many of the same players. Zach Lavine.
Way too many of the same players, bro. But these players are gonna win you games. Yeah, DeRozan, Westbrook, Sabonis. Bro, you're telling me a 35-year-old player who people wanted to write off away from the league is the player that plays the hardest. Like, bro, come on. Like, by this logic, Russell Westbrook should be getting a max, and these guys should be getting crumbs that Russell Westbrook took. Russell Westbrook's the only one I see, man, that actually like gives a shit about Sacramento. And it's sad to say the least.
Yeah. Now, because we're talking about this kind of tier of players, do you think LaMelo Ball is actually playing himself out of a max contract?
Bro, 100%, bro. I think recently they played, I forgot what team they played recently, but they had to sit out LaMelo Ball because of foul trouble, and Colin Sexton won in the game.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous, man.
And it was against the Raptors. They had to sit out LaMelo Ball,
now,
I believe.
Now, there's two different things that's working against the LaMelo Ball, right? The league right now is so much talent coming in. Like, the rookie of the year is about to be on their team. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, like he's shooting lights out. So you have B Miller. It's just the level of talent coming into the NBA. It can quickly phase out guys who normally would have got that, you know, first rookie scale extension, and they would think that they're good, but their time on the team is coming to an end a lot faster. Like honestly, I think Paulo is gonna have his day of judgment a lot faster than he thinks. I know he recently signed a 5-year extension on that rookie scale deal, but I think he's gonna get judged a lot faster than he thinks.
Well, bro, him and Franz Wagner are both gonna be judged.
They're gonna be judged a lot faster, but this is a new NBA now. Like, rookies have to show a lot quicker. Because remember, Luka, when he came in, him and Trae Young, they were only like 2-3 years in, and they were already kind of showing, hey, we can make the playoffs, we can win a round or two. You know what I'm saying? Like they were already kind of making noise.
Flashes of their brilliance, man. That's one thing. Like, I can't really put LaMelo Ball in that conversation because LaMelo hasn't shown me flashes of brilliance. Trae Young, by year 3, made the Eastern Conference Finals. Luka Doncic was going head to head, you know, shot for shot against Kawhi Leonard, a Hall of Fame player. You know, against Paul George. You know, Trae Young beat what? Trae Young went to the Madison Square Garden, and what? He put on a show that was legendary.
Facts.
You look at that. You look at him beating the Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, him going head to head with Milwaukee Bucks. He's shown that, yo, I'm a player who's willing to make the leaps and beyond. Bro, look at fucking Cade Cunningham, man. The Pistons were dog shit. Now the Pistons were in a winning, or I think they still are in a winning streak. So what we're looking at now, it's so what have you done for me lately? But also it puts pressure on some of these players. Like, yo, You know, we need some results. LaMelo Ball, you're looking at what, 7th season in the NBA now, or 5th or 6th season, 5th, 6th or 7th season, bro.
Yeah, it's his
And
fifth
what has
season.
he really? What has he done to show for it, bro? Like a couple of play-in appearances.
Yeah,
Come on now.
he's in the same class as what's his name from Minnesota?
Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, Ant-Man. Yeah, he's in the same
And
class
he
as
had a
him.
better rookie season than him. But what has he done since?
You're right, but you know, a lot of these guys, you know, their day of judgment is going to be a lot faster, and their delusion is going to have to end a lot quicker. Because look, even Bradley Beal, he's still delusional. Recently, he told The Athletic that when you allow me to be that guy, I'll be that guy. But when you have coaches that want me to set screens and play in the dunker, you're not Bradley Beal. You're somebody else.
Bro,
Like, this is exactly what he said.
But when has Bradley Beal been that fucking guy?
Exactly.
When
Like, let me read out the Wizards'
Yeah.
record and Bradley Beal's 5 seasons in Washington. His last 5 seasons.
Okay, this is after Wall.
Yeah,
give
this
or
is his
take.
last 5 seasons. So yeah, let me read his last 5 seasons in Washington. He was 24 and 26. This is games that he played. 17 and 23, 32 and 28, 20 and 37, 32 and 50. So
Yeah, man.
and he's injured a lot too, by the way.
Bradley Beal has been injured a lot, bro. He's full of shit, man. Come on, come, bro. You can't, bro. Sometimes I feel like these guys live in their own fucking bubble. Some of these players, bro. Like, there's no way you can say this with a straight face. What you're saying,
but you know what it is? It's the way the NBA was, and also the teams. They empowered these guys. Look at Bradley Beal in Washington. You never make the playoffs, but they reward you with a max contract. With a no trade clause. Let's not forget that he had the no trade clause.
Yeah.
So who who the fuck would ever give that to Bradley Beal? But bro, now that era is over.
I think calling him a top 20 player during his Washington run is pretty generous, to be honest with you, bro.
Yeah, I could have swore he averaged like 30 points a game and he'd even make the All-Star team.
Bro, the team wasn't even close to sniffing the playoffs, bro.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? It's a joke. Bradley Beal, bro. Who are you kidding? I can be that guy. Bro, if the Clippers want to tank, then yeah, bro. Be that fucking guy. I'm all for it, bro. But if they're trying to compete, then, bro, no. Stand in the corner, shoot some threes, bro. Play little defense. Look to play off of Kawhi, Harden, and, you know, Derrick Jones Jr. You're like the 5th, 6th, 7th option on the team now.
But thank God that era of the NBA is over. It's
bro,
done.
It's over.
It's done. Like, there is no Bradley Beal supermax contract. And not in this league today. They would never max out a guy that can't even sniff the play-in.
Bro, you shouldn't max out, bro. Like, why are you getting rewarded for mediocrity? At the end of the day, you're getting like.
Matter of fact,
that's what
LaMelo Ball he's not even sniffing the play-in.
No, hell no, bro. And I think the Hornets, bro, they have a brighter future without him. To be honest with you, Con Knipple's he's a stud.
Yeah, but you know what? There's no market for him though at that salary. He's around the $40 million range, and this is another conundrum of the league right here. Who's gonna accept these guys at their salaries when they say, "Oh, we're gonna trade Zach Lavine, or we're gonna trade LaMelo, we're gonna trade all these guys who are making 40 to 50 mil." Who the hell is gonna pick these guys up? The only player I would say that could get picked up at that rate is Karl-Anthony Towns if the Knicks decide to trade him, because he's probably one of the best stretch centers you can find.
Well, there's also one argument you're leaving out. Karl-Anthony Towns actually plays.
Yeah, he plays too.
LaMelo Ball doesn't play. He plays, but then his hamstring problems, whatever have you. Zion plays 20 games per season, bro. At this point, LaMelo doesn't play many games. Lavine doesn't play many games. Like, come on, man. Like, what are they gonna pay you to sit on the bench? Paris Fashion Week, wear the freshest endorsement clothes. Well, there's no reason to bring these guys in.
Yeah, it's just LaMelo Ball in a way. It's sad because it would have been nice to see him in the playoffs go up against a guy like Trae Young. That would be dope to see both of them go.
Dude, he's a fun player.
Yeah, because they bring a different flair to the game. But it's like, hey, you know, are you ever gonna make it? Are you ever even gonna have a season where you finish the 8th seed at least? Like,
bro,
that's a real question.
Are you ever gonna have a season where you play 60 games?
Oh man, this is crazy.
And bro, don't get me wrong. I loved like when he played with Gordon Hayward and Terry Rozier. That was a fun team. That was a very fun team. But bro, you look at it now, you're like, man, every season's like, oh, LaMelo has flashes early on, he gets injured. Then it's like, all right, bro, who gives a shit? And that's where we're at the Hornets, bro. Hornets are only relevant because of Con Knipples and how great he is.
Now I'm wondering, is there going to be a market for these kind of players once again because of their salary? Who's really going to eat up that much money and trade for LaMelo Ball, trade for Zach Lavine?
The New Orleans Pelicans, the Dallas Mavericks, the Sacramento Kings. You know those kind of teams, bro.
Man, they're going to have to act like OKC in like 2020, accepting all the veterans that were on those max deals for like draft picks. They're going to have to work out those type of deals. Oh no,
those
but you know
teams
what?
are so stupid, bro.
But you know what?
Those
My bad. You know what?
Yeah.
That's not going to work anymore because some of these teams that can make the trade, some of these teams that are trying to trade these guys away, depending on where they're at in the luxury tax, they can't make that trade unless it's for the same exact salary to the T, or they might not even be able to do 2-for-1s or 2-for-1s, or just matching salaries with multiple players. They might not even qualify to even do that because of the rules. The rules are different.
Yeah, bro, they're stuck. The rebuild process is gonna be tough for, like, bro, the Hornets. They might get lucky and lowball LaMelo Ball, but man, his future, he's not gonna touch that same money again, bro. He's gonna have to go the Brendan Ingram route.
Yeah, but this is one of the reasons why the players have to opt out of their deal with the owners, because this is such a bad deal with this second apron shit. Because now guys like Brandon Ingram, it's hard to pay them $40 million when you know it's impossible to trade him away. Like, it's gonna be impossible to trade Melo away. Zach Lavine especially, no team is gonna bite on that unless he's expiring, or I don't even know if they can even make that even work, even if he's expiring, depending on because if teams are at the first apron, they can't make that trade. It would have to be a non-tax team.
Well, who was that? The Brooklyn Nets?
Yeah, the Brooklyn Nets would have to eat his salary, but even if they did, they might have to give up too much just to make the money match.
Bro,
no. Matter of fact, they would have to give up 2 or 3 players. I don't know. I don't know if it's even worth it to take because LaMelo Ball, it's gonna come with politics. You have to start him, then he's gonna fuck up the chemistry. It's not the same league anymore. Like, those days of trading away the guy that used to make max money, those days are over. Like, teams are not eating that no more.
Bro, teams are gonna lowball, and like I said, bro, it's God bless. Like, make your money, whatever. Like, I'm not gonna be mad if you get a couple billionaires to sucker in a contract, bro. But at the end of the day, at least play for whoever attends those games, bro. At least give someone minimum effort. They're not here. They spend 2-3 hours in a working day, bro. They could probably spend that money somewhere else or pay off some other bullshit bills, bro. At least put on a decent game where they can go home, be happy, whatever.
Yep. Now, speaking of team building, all these gambling scandals are starting to spill over and affect teams like the Miami Heat. What the fuck are they supposed to do with Terry Rozier's money? They can't even. They're not even sure if they could even cancel it out. It's like pending. Could it get voided, or could they trade it away? But then if they trade it away, could the other team not void it, or could they void it? It's a weird dynamic. Like, the league is not set up with these strict apron rules for guys to get caught up in gambling scandals for their contracts to still be on the books. It's a fucked up spot, because I think the Heat right now, they're about to pay luxury tax on that Terry Rozier money. But he's not on the team.
Bro, my thing with the Rozier and all that shit is, bro, it's him, Jonte Porter. I think Malik Beasley's clear, right? But he's getting investigated by the league.
No, he's not clear. Matter of fact, Shams got caught lying a couple of times about that. He is not clear.
Oh, so bullshit sham report?
Yeah, like, and that's another thing. The media, the way they're reporting on these stories, it's either surface level or they don't follow up. And the only time they follow up is when they go like, "Oh yeah, he's cleared," and it's like he's not cleared.
Okay, so I guess those three are the main victims.
Yeah, because you
Or the main
remember Shams. Remember everything. All the shows that Shams is on, they promote gambling in the very next breath, or they have the ads running in the
But
bottom.
that's what I was getting into, bro. It's yeah, okay, fuck these players for gambling, whatever is unethical, whatever, we condemn them. But bro, in my honest to God opinion is the league's promoting this shit
Exactly.
and the players, you know, obviously they're making enough money, but they're like, fuck it, bro, we'll make a couple more mil by gambling, telling our family like, yo, this is what we're gonna do. They word of mouth, whatever. Like, bro, at some point the league has to look at it. Every sports league, not even the NBA, every league, every podcast, every whatever. Bro, it's at some point you're gonna be like, all right, bro, this has gone too far. We have promoted gambling up to a certain level. You know, obviously morally it's fucked up. Every religion tells you it's fucked up. So it's like, what are we hoping to achieve? Like, there's no way in a world where the NBA, the NFL, MLB, NHL, boxing, they didn't think that, yo, promoting this gambling shit won't spill over to our players. Bro, historically, boxing has always had a gambling problem, and that's due to them always be connecting to Vegas. Now we're living in an online day where people can gamble just by downloading an app. Well, I don't know what they expected, the league. I don't know what these leagues expected. I don't know what these programs expected. I don't know what these gambling companies expected, bro. It was bound to happen. And they encouraged it to happen when you're shoving it down everyone's face. The average person who watches sports leagues is your teenager mostly because they have the most free time. What are they gonna do? Get mommy and daddy's credit card and gamble a little, or birthday presents, birthday money's gambled, you know, whatever, bro. So at some point, the league has to take account. The league, the sport, the ESPN, Amazon, whatever, the gambling companies, they have to take account to what the fuck is going on, bro.
Yeah,
I
but
think
they're not right now. I mean, the Terry Rozier is a perfect example. His contract is up in the air. But what do the Heat do? Because they're about to pay luxury tax on a guy who's not even there. They can't even trade him. Or if they did trade him, do they have to match salaries? If they don't, the other team that picks him up, do they actually get a chance to void his contract? Or does, let's say if he gets convicted, do they still have to pay him his contract? Do they have to pay the luxury tax if they're gonna go over? Like, all this is kind of in limbo. Like, the NBA hasn't given the Miami Heat a clear answer on Terry Rozier's deal.
Yeah,
this is tricky. And then you got the players union involved. This is tricky. This is a whole clusterfuck.
Bro, it's designed to be a clusterfuck, man, with how the sports leagues are set up. There's gonna be more cases coming out eventually, bro. It is what it is, especially now with the new CBA. A lot of these players are gonna be like, "Fuck it, bro. We're gonna make our money. If not by the team, if not by the owners, we'll make it by gambling. Hey, this is the parlay you write down. I'll get this many rebounds. I'll get this many shots. Whatever."
You know what's so interesting? The Chauncey Billups shit exposed that when teams are tanking, that's when the parlays are up.
Yeah. When teams are tanking, when a player's on a decline, whatever, those are when the parlays are up.
Yeah, that shit is crazy, man. That inside
like
information
Porter, bro.
is wild.
He gambled that he won't score a single point. Like, you know what I mean? Like, these guys are like, fuck it, bro. We're gonna make our money through extra means, bro. Like,
yeah,
but the players are easy. Yeah.
But you don't remember when the Blazers all of a sudden started tanking, and they sat down Dame? That was like out of nowhere. That was out of nowhere. And you remember how Dame was like, oh, he didn't want to tank, and then people were like, oh, Dame might get traded, and that's when all that bullshit kind of started. That's when Chauncey Billups was giving away inside info.
I mean, dude, even the fucking like early on in the season, bro, there'd be games where Denny Avdia sitting in the last few crucial minutes of the game. Why is your franchise player sitting in the crucial minutes of your game? So there's many moments where you see like Chauncey Billups looking back on it gambling. But man, this is gonna cause a fire in the NBA. And it's gonna be interesting to say the least. I think 2030s we're gonna see a lot of players get exposed for this shit.
Now, another thing is interesting is that NBA fans, we're always saying that we want competitive basketball. We all love April basketball, May, June, the playoffs, the games matter.
Yeah, March Madness.
Yeah, but it's crazy how the NBA actually gave us this in the beginning of the season with the NBA Cup. I feel like this season is like a turnaround for it because the NBA media is starting to accept it more. I'm seeing it's being more embraced,
Yeah,
and
bro,
we're getting a lot of good basketball out of it too.
I've embraced it since the first day it came about. I think people who bitch about it are idiots, in my opinion. Because,
Yeah.
bro, the regular season needed some flair.
It definitely did.
These players don't want to play. These players, and also, bro, I'm not gonna lie, NBA players are very bipolar, and how they want to get paid. That they want to get paid the 82 games, but they also don't want to put in effort to avoid injuries, and they also don't want to play the 82 games, but they want to be paid the 82 games, right? So this gives an incentive for those players to kind of show out and really play top tier basketball, man.
For sure. And you know what's so crazy about that? At the end of the day, they want the money, right? Why not use this NBA Cup to actually gain more leverage for streaming? Like this NBA Cup is another, I would say, all-star weekend. It's almost like another event. Because Netflix, believe it or not, and Apple and all the other tech companies, YouTube, they don't necessarily want 82 games from the NBA. They want events. So the NBA Cup is an event. The play-in tournament at the end of the season is an event. The NBA playoffs, of course, is an event. All-Star Weekend is an event. You see all the events opening up. At some point, the NBA Cup is either going to be only on Amazon or is only going to be on Netflix. You see the play for the NBA? It's not only the fans are winning, we're getting urgent basketball, but also now they're going to make that into an event. So instead of the regular season opening up, kind of being boring after mid-November, now we're getting some intense playoff basketball. The only thing is that if the players can actually be healthy enough to fucking be part of it, because the way these guys are breaking down.
Bro, I think one of the best things that happened too, it's the fact guys like Kawhi, the fact guys like Giannis and LeBron won the championship the first 2 years. Now there's also added value because you have major stars winning those, cups. The NBA, bro, I think this is important. It's like kind of a soccer field. It's field, my bad, not field, but it's a soccer field. Obviously going to the Emirates is gonna. I hate the name. I'm not gonna lie, but I think the appeal to the Emirates, obviously the Middle East is trying to grow economically and trying to
they're gonna
diversify
bid.
the NBA.
Eventually, they're gonna bid on one of these games to have it.
Yeah, it's gonna be international. It's good. NBA can try out. I think they're also trying to bring in European teams a part of the NBA Cup, right?
Part of the in-season tournament. Yeah, eventually, that's what it's looking like it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be like only in the beginning of the season. I think eventually it's gonna be like a once-a-week thing for like all the way up until like February. It's gonna be like just like soccer. It's gonna be like almost a whole season, but it's gonna be like once every 2 weeks. It's gonna be like an international play.
I don't know how it'll pan out, but man, I'm interested to see how it pans out.
But it will be extra games on top of the 82. It's not gonna be part of the 82. It's gonna be, who knows? They might actually make it a 72 game season, and then extra 10 games is the international cup. They could make it like that.
It pans out. Like, I'm open to it. I want to see how it pans out.
Either way, man, everything has to evolve. Shit got to get shaken up. Like, the days of having, like, what, Major League Baseball, what they play, 168 games or 162?
Bro, let's be honest.
Those days are over, man. Games. Like, come on. Like, that shit is boring.
Nobody watches 82 games, bro. Especially in this day and age. Nobody watches 82 games.
Yeah, it's just, we need more urgency. And most importantly, the NBA partners, the Netflix, the Amazons, they already made it well known. They're not interested in a whole 82 game season. They want the emergency games. They want the must see ones.
Nobody's tuning in to watch the Memphis Grizzlies versus the Brooklyn Nets on a random Friday, bro.
Yeah, stuff like that used to work when there were way less options. Like especially with
Yeah,
the younger generation,
it worked.
I would say kids
It
that are
worked
like
with
13
cable.
years old, they have so much. There's so much competition. I think the NBA don't have their attention. Their attention are on video games, streaming. They have way more options. So I'm like, the NBA really needs to shake shit up to gain their attention.
Dude, my brother is 16. He doesn't give a fuck about sports.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm
Exactly.
gonna keep it real, bro.
That is a huge gap for the NBA. I think Adam Silver really is going to have to address that because that's the real elephant in the room with the NBA. I know they're
Yeah,
going international to kind of avoid addressing that, but there's a huge gap from like I would say anyone under the age of 15 now and below with them actually being interested in
bro. I'd say anyone under the age of 18.
yeah, of them being interested in even sports, period. Just
Yeah,
beyond
bro. Like,
NBA.
I'm 25, so I kind of grew up in the middle of like the middle of kind of the transition to like internet media and cable, right? So I remember ABC watching, my first NBA finals was San Antonio and Miami 2013. I
Mm-hmm.
watched it on cable all the way to like what 20 like before Hurricane Harvey, so 2017. So from 2013 to 2017, I watched it through cable, Dish Network. Later on, it was easy for me to transition, watching it through the internet. But nowadays, bro, the internet's everything. Nowadays, YouTube has taken over. People would rather watch like streamers now than they would rather watch, you know, NBA games.
Yeah,
The NBA
and
has
that right there
to.
is the flaw. It's like, why now sign up and put NBA games so scattered? I have to log into Amazon. I gotta log into NBC. You know, the fact that they scattered everything, NBA League Pass is way better now. Like it's all in one place, but the fact that everything is so scattered.
Bro, at the end of the day, all you get is people just going to streaming, like I don't know, crack stream to watch games. Like you're not getting people to tune into NBC, Amazon, all those streaming platforms to watch basketball games.
No. They are getting it because most people already have Amazon Prime. So
But bro, those are people like I said, those are people with money, right? But you're trying to cater to a newer generation. Those kids don't got money, bro. How else are they gonna have access to kind of basketball and all that stuff?
well, they have access to their parents' Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I get that, but you think they're gonna have like you, bro? How many households like Amazon's the most? I guess every household has an Amazon account, or I don't know the percentage, but a high percentage of households have it, right? But bro, I can't say the same for NBC Peacock.
Yeah, NBC
I
Peacock, no, but the thing is, I think with the League Pass, they did a better job of just consolidating all of it. I'm
Even
not too
that
sure.
shit is
I don't have
expensive, bro.
League Pass, but I'm not too sure. But I've heard that it's all in one spot now. It's not like
But even that
before.
shit's expensive, bro.
I'm not sure. Someone could correct me in the comments if its League Pass is much better now, because this is the first season. Cause I had it last year, but I didn't get it this year. Last year, yo, oh my god, I had League Pass.
That is
That
ugly
shit
as
was
shit.
horrible. It was horrible. Like the angle. I don't know if TNT was filming some of the games at a certain angle. They would show the celebrities sitting down. I hated that shit. I was like, oh, that was. Thank God the NBA separated from TNT. No offense to them, their technology is old. Like they don't. They're not ahead of the times. They're way behind. Watching the NBA on YouTube TV is way better. It's not even close.
100%, bro.
Yeah. So is the NBA this season looking to rob Jokic of MVP when he's even putting up better numbers than ever? Like before he put up great numbers, he won the MVP award. Then he put up even better numbers and they denied him the MVP award. But now he's even putting up better numbers than that. Like he's having games where he's shooting 90% from the field. Like right now, as we're talking, he's shooting almost 70% from the field after 100 attempts. I feel like they're looking for ways to rob him.
Bro, I don't think they wanna. They don't. The NBA always been like that. You remember they gave Karl Malone the MVP when it should have been Michael Jordan. They've always done that, bro. It's kind of the they always want to promote multiple faces. They're not trying to have just Luka, you know?
Yeah, but it's tough, man. The numbers he's putting up, it was even hard last season. Even though SGA did have the best team in the conference, Jokic's numbers was insane. It was hard to
Yep.
like just not even look in that direction. Like, yeah, SGA is killing, but damn, Jokic is putting up some fucking alien numbers.
Oh, Jokic is unreal, bro. I think this year's battle for MVP is gonna be between him and him and Shea.
These numbers are insane, man. I'm not gonna lie. He had a game against the Clippers, 55 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists on 78% shooting.
Yo, I
That's
don't know
fucking
where
crazy.
Luka. I don't know where Luka ranks in the MVP discussion, but man, that's another name that should be put up, bro. This guy is averaging 20 in the first half.
Damn, that's crazy. But hold on, but
Yeah.
Jokic got like 6 games where he's getting like more than 30 points and he's finishing with almost 80% from the field.
Oh, Jokic is my MVP currently, bro.
Like that's fucking insane. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
bro.
know.
Jokic is all around insane, man. The fact that we're witnessing his peak, and it seems like it won't slow down beyond those years, peak years, bro. Jokic, that's a generational star, man.
Yo, no lie, one more season of this same thing here. Whoa, it's going to be hard to leave him out of certain conversations. It's going to be hard.
Like Hakeem Olajuwon, bro, he's probably in that Hakeem Olajuwon conversations, bro.
Shit. Like you see these numbers, you see like the percentages. It's like, damn.
Bro, in 5 or 6 years, there's gonna be a conversation with him and Tim Duncan, in my
5 or
opinion.
6 years, I think by next season. If you look at from when he won his MVP till now,
Yeah,
no one has had a stretch like that.
no, Jokic is the face of the 2020 basketball era. This
Shit.
decade is Jokic's decade. I'm not gonna lie. At first, I thought it'd be Giannis. Some may say Shea, but man, it might be Jokic. And not to discount those guys, bro. Those guys are multiple-time MVP.
True.
But Jokic is that.
I would love to see a finals with Giannis and Jokic. Oh, yeah. I just wish Giannis had a better team set up
and healthy. He hasn't been relatively healthy since 2021.
Yeah, I just wish he had a better team set up.
The Denver Nuggets, bro. Shout out to them, bro. One thing I gotta give Denver Nuggets credit. It's they faced a lot of criticism for firing Mike Malone and the GM. I'm forgetting his name. But man, since they fired those guys,
oh, the one that went to Minnesota.
Did he win to Minnesota?
Yeah, they had a president. After they won the championship, the Nuggets, they had a president that went to Minnesota.
Yeah, they did. He's currently in Minnesota, but they promoted the dude. I'm forgetting his name. It's slipping out of my mind. But they fired him along with Mike Malone. And, bro, they made the best possible pivot ever. Like, I honestly do think Jokic is signing that extension, bro.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, he has no reason to leave. It's not like he's in Denver in his off seasons anyway.
Yeah. Like, it's pretty clear that he's gonna stay.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It's interesting how, because remember we spoke about this before, how Draymond Green was like the expectations of the international stars don't have the same energy as the American stars from the NBA media. Like they kind of hold guys like Tatum to some sort of high standard, but they subconsciously don't hold other players on that level that are international to the same standard. It's a weird thing. It's a very weird thing.
You don't think they hold Giannis or Jokic to a high standard?
Not to the same degree as they would with Tatum. It's almost like if Tatum fails, it's the end of the world. If those guys fail, it's just like,
I'm gonna be honest. If
they
Giannis
didn't get it. You know what I mean? Like, it's weird. Like even SGA, they don't really hold.
But does that have more to do with
same...
market, or does that have more to do with? I think that has more to do with market than the individual player.
Nah, man, they hold the American players. They look at the like look at the way the media gravitates towards Ant-Man. Like they're gonna hold him up to that like standard at some point. They're gonna hold him up to like that like MJ, Kobe, you gotta get one championship standard. But they're not
Okay,
gonna
that's fine.
they're not gonna do
But then
that
let me ask
for
you,
the others, man. They're just
let
not
me
gonna.
ask you, why not? Then why is there no hype for like Cade Cunningham?
Because he just came out of NBA purgatory from just losing 28 games in a row. Like he came out of that, he bust through out of that. Like we all thought he was in NBA purgatory forever down there in Detroit. He just bust
Yeah.
through that and came out of nowhere, and now he's like fully out of it. So it's like
But we
okay,
can.
it's like
But
it's
what?
like
He's probably.
it's still kind of shocking.
But he's probably what, top 3 best American players? That's young, we can say. Tatum's out, Halliburton's out, Brunson, him, and Anthony Edwards. No.
Um,
Now I'm thinking, who else can I say is American grown? That's like kind of
KD.
you. Yeah, we could put KD in that argument too.
Yeah,
But KD's kind of like
KD
we don't
surprising.
have.
He has expectations this season. He definitely
But
does.
KD and LeBron have expectations. Steph Curry.
I
I
don't know
guess
why
you could put
LeBron
those
has
two.
expectations. To be honest with you, I don't want to. Since
Bro,
like
it's
2021,
people want that 5.
I don't think so.
People want that 5, bro.
Wow, they're not gonna. He can't carry no team.
Well, I honestly put
KD
Steph
don't
Curry
have
in
to
it.
carry this team. This team got like a real. They can make up for like
It's
anything
real
he don't have.
infrastructure. Houston has a real infrastructure.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really expect Steph Curry to win anything either. That might be an unpopular opinion, but you know.
Yeah, me neither. Like the way I'm seeing them right now, I'm just like, damn. When they look back at fucking Draymond Green and his antics, they're gonna be like, Dre, you fucked it up, man. Like for real. Like we could have had KD on this squad right now.
I think with the Warriors, it's gonna come down to Draymond. Obviously, Draymond's antics were condemnable, but a lot of decisions I think front office has to take account for. Mike Dunleavy, Jake, was Mark, I believe Lacob, I believe the owner's name is Joe Lacob. There's gonna be Steve Kerr. They have to take accountability for a lot of what happened. Draymond has obviously a role. I'm not gonna deny that. Maybe even Steph Curry. I think a lot of franchise players have to take accountability to what happened. At the end of the day, a lot of people, a lot of personnel.
Don't forget
Whether
Jordan
like
Poole. Draymond with Jordan Poole.
Jordan Poole, Kevin Durant. You know, you could add a lot of names. They have to take accountability for the Warriors' kind of shortcoming.
Yeah, but Draymond fucked up a
2022.
lot of opportunity. Fucked up
Yeah,
a
he did.
lot of opportunity. The finals, 2016, the Jordan Poole situation, Kevin Durant, kind of running him out.
Yeah, I think the Warriors, bro, it's a lot of bullshit that goes on. I feel like Draymond is the most easy scapegoat. And I'm not saying he shouldn't be a scapegoat. I'm all for, you know, he should be held accountable for what the Warriors are going through. But, you know, I think when it comes down to the team itself, man, it's like, what the fuck went wrong? You know, a lot of things went wrong. I think the idea of the front office thinking like, yo, we're running 2 timetables, bro. I don't know a team that's been successful
That
running
Kuminga
2
shit,
timetables.
I don't agree.
Because, bro, like, okay, VG Edgecombe came off as a more polished player than Kuminga. Kuminga came off the G League Ignite, if I'm not wrong. So there's a lot of unpolishedness in Kuminga's game that we still see till this day. You know, so you can't compare it to like a VG Edgecombe who's more, you know, polished and he's able to kind of morph into a role. Now you're looking at Kuminga, you're like, okay, yeah, Kuminga, we want to develop you, but at the same time we want to win an NBA championship. It don't work like that. You have him, you know, that doesn't work out for him to be really molded into that 3rd, 4th option. Jordan Poole, you chase away, you know, you traded away. But Poole fit that team perfectly because Poole, one thing that he did great was take away that scoring pressure off of Steph Curry. Now you don't have that anymore. The Warriors haven't had that since Jordan Poole left. They tried with Podziemski. Podziemski sucks. And Jimmy Butler isn't really much of a scorer, you know. So what do you have? You're just demanding a lot from Steph Curry. And I think the way that the team runs their... Look, I'm going to be honest. I think there's certain coaches that translates within decades, right? You know, Greg Popovich, he was able to be He was able to win in the 90s. Obviously,
Good
99
point right here.
won. He won the 2000s and he won the 2010s. He
Uh-oh.
translated, right, through decades. You didn't really have to look for a coaching, coach. Same with Miami Heat. Okay, yeah, he took over early 2010s. You won a championship with the Big Three. You went to 4 finals with the Big Three. You won 2. You went with Jimmy Butler at the end of 2010s. 2020, start 2020. You win. You go to the finals with Butler. You go again in 2023. You've shown a value of consistent winning. Rick Carlisle, same thing. You won in 2011. You've shown a consistency of winning, but at the end, even he got fired. For me, bro, I'm gonna be honest. I think there's a conversation on Steve Kerr's future within the Warriors as of
Talk
right
your
now.
shit. Go ahead.
I don't see a future with
Speaking
Steve Kerr,
facts.
man. I don't see bro. When you're a team still running small ball lineup and you have Jokic, you have Jokic running amok. Bro, what the fuck? Why isn't there a big man rotation? Or do the Warriors think it's 2015 where you can just have a body there? I'd much rather have Kevon Looney on the court than whatever the fuck they're having on the court, bro. Post.
And wait, hold on. I just
Draymond.
wanted to say this. I'm always saying this in my other segments, especially when I go over game film. We're in a transition period. The small ball era is beginning to end. When you look at the Houston Rockets,
over.
You look at some of these other teams, like it's over. Like these guys are a lot bigger. You look at the physicality the Pistons bring. You look at the Orlando Magic. It's just like this small ball era is starting to
Minnesota.
end. Even the Milwaukee Bucks in the beginning of the season, some of the success they had with just 2 bigs. It's just like the small ball era starting to end.
Bro, it's over.
The Denver Nuggets, the San Antonio Spurs,
the Philadelphia 76ers, Minnesota Timberwolves, even the Lakers, bro. DeAndre Ayton's eating. Come on, man. It's over. We're looking at it now, bro. Jalen Duren's eating. Vucevic was eating early on in the season. So, bro, what we're looking at now, it's a transition of eras, and it feels like Steve Kerr has not lived up to that transition of era. What are you forcing Kajimski a part of the small ball lineup? What is he really adding, bro? Will Steve Kerr handle Kuminga's rebuild, or the Kuminga's development has been shit? What has the Warriors really won with his what has Steve Kerr done for the betterment of Jonathan Kuminga?
Yeah, he's not gonna really. He's just not a Steve Kerr player. It's almost like, you know what role he's in? He's in the Jason Tatum Olympics role.
Yeah.
Look what Steve Kerr did to Jason Tatum in the Olympics. Like, you couldn't find nothing for him?
Bro, even then, okay, yeah, sure, Jason Tatum. But, man, the fact of the matter is he's sharing the court with LeBron, Steph, and Kevin Durant.
Yo, Jason Tatum sent everybody packing. They made Luka in that Dallas Mavericks team that was the #1 defense after the All-Star break. They sent them packing like nothing. And it's like, this guy's in the Olympics and you don't find any minutes, any way to use him. It's crazy.
Bro, Steve Kerr has a lot of cracks showing with his coaching. I agree with you on that. But even then, I can even, if he came up with the excuse of, there's more, we have Steph, LeBron, and Durant. I'd be like, whatever, bro. Anthony Edwards, whatever. Sure. But, bro, you have I think Kuminga is better than 90% of that roster, bro, right now. If your name's not Steph, if your name is not Jimmy, Kuminga is a better player than you on the Warriors.
Huh.
Like, Draymond holds a bigger role, but he's not an offensive engine. Kuminga can be an offensive engine. And there's not much of a development with him.
And they don't give him that much of a leash. As soon as he fucks up, they're going to pull it off. They're going to, pull him away.
That's the incompetency of Joe Lacob. Even Warriors right now, their rookie is good. They're a decent built roster if they just get a big. But it's just bro, you're overly reliant on a 36-year-old. Are you good enough to compete with the other Western teams?
But
can the Warriors compete against the Thunder? Fuck no.
It's amazing you said that they need to get a big, right? Because Oklahoma did that same exact thing by grabbing Hartenstein. They realized going up against the Mavs, they didn't necessarily have that big. They was missing another wing defender too in Caruso. They picked up Caruso and they picked up and addressed the issue
Hartenstein.
with Hartenstein. Yep. So
Bro, even forget even the Mavericks, bro. I remember watching that series against the Pelicans they had in the first round. All I remember is, man, Jonas Valanciunas is eating Chet Holmgren's lunch. This Oklahoma team is not sustainable. That's the conclusion I came with watching Jonas Valanciunas, an average center for most of his career, was able to eat Chet Holmgren's lunch. They're able to fix that problem. The Warriors, it seems like, man, it's been the repeated two major problems, and they have not bothered to fix it because of salary and because of salary and because of, you know, I don't know, Steve Kerr, whatever
no,
philosophy.
it's the era. The era switched. Now there's
Yeah, the
more.
era-
There's more like 6'7", 6'8" guys. There's more Jalen Johnsons. There's more Trey Murphys out there. Like that era that the Warriors played in, where Draymond allowed them to kind of play a flexible lineup, it's starting to end. And plus, Draymond's aging out too. Like you said, there's been no adaptation from Steve Kerr, and there's been
Draymond's
lack of
aging
vision. There's been lack of vision from Mike Dunleavy to even see that.
Bro, the small ball lineup worked is because you had obviously Steph and Clay. But let's not act, bro. You have Kevin Durant, who was a really good rim protector, a solid rim protector, and a great scorer. You don't have that right now, like, for the factor that matter. What team can the Warriors honestly outscore? Like, you need Steph Curry to really score to outscore at this point.
Yep. And
But you're
also,
not- it's
let me
no
add on
more-
to this. The rules changed. Remember, all those ticky-tack fouls James Harden used to do, him and Trae Young, they took that shit out. Let's not forget
100%.
that. All those stupid,
100%.
like, non-basketball moves, they took that out.
Bro, 100%. The way the league has changed is drastic. And bro, I think it shows a lot of Steve Kerr how good of a coach he is. I'm not gonna say he's a horrible coach. He's a Hall of Fame coach. But man, it's like, it seems like for at this point, you should look for a different scenery if you're the Golden State Warriors. Like, in my opinion, if Steph retires, whatever, if Steph, obviously comes down to Steph, it seems like he's complacent. He's making a whole brand off of loyalty. I saw his Google ad. One coach for however many years, one team, whatever. So, okay, yeah, he's going to ride with Steve Kerr. He's trying to make that a brand. But at some point, bro, the Warriors organization has to look beyond a brand and look the next 5 years. These next 5 years, Steph Curry is not an NBA player. Is a matter of fact. So it's like, what the fuck are we doing here now? It's what direction are the Warriors taking? Because I'm gonna be honest, I think Kuminga might be a high-end role player, but he's not a franchise player, especially the developmental steps they taken. Same with Pod. I don't know if Pod is an NBA player, to be honest with you. Moses Moody's not a good defender. So what are the Warriors really doing to really keep up with modern basketball? Because Kevin Durant was first or second option scoring at times, almost damn near every night. If Steph's off, you have Kevin Durant, he takes over, and vice versa. And you had Jordan Poole when Steph was off the bench. When Steph was on the bench, Poole was able to be that microwave and bring in a lot of offense. You don't have that anymore on the Warriors. You're relying on a 36-year-old.
I don't know if they could rely on Curry, like you said, because you can look at the league today. A lot of guys are getting injured because the space, the floor is so spaced out. And it's like the speed and pace is actually a lot faster than last season. So it's like, as the years go by, the pace just keeps picking up. I don't know if this is sustainable. I have no idea. I'm just like,
a 36-year-old player with ankle issues throughout his career. When you look at it, bro, he's a 36-year-old with ankle issues, man. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, it's tough, man. The Warriors, man. It's really, it might be over. It might be over.
Bro, I thought it was over when Clay left, to be honest with you. I'm not saying Clay makes a difference in 2024, 2025, but it's like, it's an indication. Like how like a recession starts? That's how I viewed it when Klay Thompson left. That's the start of a recession.
Yeah, when they lost to Sacramento, right?
When they lost to Sacramento and he decided to take his talents to, what was it? He decided to take his talents to Dallas. I'm like, all right, bro, it's over. It's a new chapter. Jimmy Butler's just a bandage.
Yeah. Yep. That's Sacramento. Sometimes that's how it is. Your time is up faster than you think.
Yeah, bro, but I'm gonna be honest. I can't cry for them, man. You won 4 championships. Take that for what it is. You built an empire.
Yeah, because you could look at the Jordan Poole, right? They tried to pivot before. They went with Jordan Poole instead of trying to pay Draymond Green. That was pretty much the narrative. And then after they paid Jordan Poole, they saw that shit wasn't working out because some games he would be hot and another game he would be completely shit. And it was consistent for a whole year. And then they got rid of Jordan Poole and then they paid Draymond.
You know, the problem with NBA, and this is what I've been critical of, NBA fans especially, is when they have these players from these big markets, right, that show out. I remember Kyle Kuzma's like first few seasons in the league. Jordan Poole with that championship run. It's that not every player is meant to be a star. When I saw Jordan Poole, all I thought to myself is, man, this guy could be a really good like Lou Williams, Eric Gordon type of player. Come off your bench and be a microwave. But the problem is these franchises at the time, the fans, they start, buying in. They start thinking their farts smell like perfume. Like, bro, you have to have a realistic approach to some players, man. Like, this is what their ceiling is. They're high-end role players.
But remember the league at the time, they were still paying guys based off of what they did. Because remember, Jordan Poole even struggled in the playoffs where they won the championship. He struggled.
Yeah,
People
but
forgot about that.
He had that crazy Celtics game that put him over the edge.
Yeah, but he got paid under the old rules. But these new rules, Jordan Poole ain't really.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I also think
that.
But I also, like I said, I like when I watch Jordan Poole, I never viewed him to be a franchise-changing star. I viewed him to be a really good player, but not a franchise-changing star.
You know what it was? It was Jordan Poole mixed up with Peyton and another player. They were like
Otto Porter?
Yeah, there was like 3 of them. They were like a crew. Them 3 together were like changing the Warriors. Yeah, I think it was Wiggins, Poole, and who's the other guy? Wiggins, Poole, and Gary Payton. Yeah, they were changing the Warriors. There was almost like a package deal. And remember, when they paid Jordan Poole, they got rid of Gary Payton. They got rid of Gary Payton the second. Then when they traded away Jordan Poole, they traded back for Payton the second. So you know they fucked up.
They didn't pay Payton. It's not they traded him. They didn't pay him.
Oh, they didn't pay him. So yeah, so he walked away, and then they traded back for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they traded back for him.
Bro, but even then, I'm like, bro, like I said, those guys, bro, those type of players, I always view them as microwave players, not franchise players. So if the Warriors really thought Jordan Poole is a franchise player, they're delusional. If they treated Jordan Poole for what he is, then yeah, bro, I'm all for it. Like, oh, okay, yeah, he's a microwave player, a guy who could come off the bench and, you could have really moments where Steph doesn't really need to be on the court. Yeah, I appreciate that, but man, I don't know. I think sometimes NBA fans, especially during that time, they get caught up sniffing their own farts, and Warriors have a habit of that, especially Warriors fans.
Yeah,
they bought into a lot of
what's that
like
GM?
propaganda.
What's that GM that left Bobby
Bob Myers?
Yeah, Bob Myers. Yeah, I think signing Jordan Poole was his last act in Golden State. No,
like I said, I'm not saying it's a bad. It might be, yeah. I'm not saying it's a bad investment, but I also don't view it as give a second round pick. Give a second round pick these high expectations. Like, come on, man. Like, be real. That's what at the end of the day, bro. You're not getting Jokic and Manu Ginobili every second round pick. You might get a high end role player, and that's good enough. Jordan Poole is good enough as a high end role player, but he's not someone that can solve all your problems post Steph Curry, post Draymond Green. Bro, the Raptors, they've been great this season, man. It seems like Brandon Ingram really fits a new environment, new team, new franchise player, new everything. And the Raptors, they look awesome. They were in a winning streak. They lost to the Knicks, I believe, tonight. But they were on
I don't think
RJ
didn't play.
9 games. Yeah, RJ didn't play, but RJ's been good. Yeah, RJ's been great. Brandon Ingram's great, and Scotty Barnes is a star. The numbers might not reflect it, but defensively, he's a star. The way he elevates players. Rajanovic, I believe his name is, has done an incredible job. I think a team like the Toronto Raptors, who don't attract free agents, this was a win. This was a what was that, low risk, high reward type of deal. And so far, it looked like the rewards has paid off. What's your opinion on that?
With Toronto, I gotta see them. It's still early. That's the craziest part. They had a great start. It's still early, but I gotta see how consistent this is gonna be. But they do have the aura of a team that's gonna be good all year, because I see the chemistry. It's real. The chemistry is real. The versatility that they have is real. They have the depth.
Yep. Yeah, they're deep. Like I said, everything you're saying is true about them. I think the only thing is health, obviously, and the only thing I think the Knicks showed is, man, I just don't think they'll be able to hold it on in the playoffs if they make it. But overall, I think what I'm wanting to ask is, we talked about earlier how players like Zach LaVine and Zion, they don't seem bought in, right? And I think Brandon Ingram was in that category for a minute under the Pelicans. And obviously, with the shit franchise, you're not going to be as bought in. But with Toronto Raptors, an organization that has been consistent, like throughout the past decades, like when we talk about the Lowry, DeMar DeRozan era to now, they've been a consistent franchise, a team with the direction, whether they're tanking or competing. You think like this type of organization, a lot of players, like you think Brandon Ingram could be kind of a example of a player rebuilding their value from aspect of getting some all-star votes or being seen positively by fans and kind of rebuilding their value up to getting a better contract in the future, because he got paid 120 for 4 years in this contract. So it seems like he's really taken that step. He took that cheaper contract, but he's taken a step to elevate his game and kind of come off as that real second option who can take over scoring duties for the Raptors.
Yeah, he has. I mean, his deal is not bad. I would say Toronto kind of rescued him because, again, around that $40 million range, a lot of teams don't want to touch players. And this is where the NBA is gonna. This is where the players' union is gonna have to renegotiate, because right now it seems like it's either you're Luka or you're more like getting paid what RJ Barry is getting paid, 25 to 27 million, or Julius Randle 30 million. Even though Julius should be making the same money that Brandon Ingram is making.
Yes.
But Julius is making like 30. So that's the tricky area, because teams are scared that, let's just say if they sign Brandon Ingram and it wasn't working out, he's basically untradeable, because no team is going to want to take on 40 mil. But right now, look, he only got a 3-year deal. He got a 2-year deal, and the third year is a player option. So normally he would have got a longer term deal. He would have got a 5-year guaranteed deal.
He took a gamble on himself. It's pretty clear to say.
Look at the gray areas some of these players are put in. I'm a second overall pick. I'm consistently about 20 points a game, and I'm only like 6-7 years in, and I have to take a gamble on my 7th year. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
those are not the gambling years.
During my prime.
Yeah, those are not the gambling years, and that's why I said the players are gonna opt out of their agreement with the owners, because this is not looking good. That hard cap second apron is really choking out guys that are kind of like top, I would say 20 to like 30 in the league. It's choking them out. But the guys who are really eating is the role players. The role players are eating. Yeah, they're eating good under this new deal.
Like guys like Josh Hardy's eating good.
Yeah, a lot of role players are eating good under this new NBA, because they don't mind paying you 25 to like 27 mil a year.
Yeah, especially when you're durable and don't really require much shots and all that good stuff. And also, can we talk about another famous team right now that's going through some bullshit?
The Clippers.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We talked about Ballmer earlier. Seemed like Ballmer's sins have come to we reap what he sinned, bro.
Yep.
It's biting him in the ass. Kawhi Leonard. Man, I don't know, bro.
Yeah,
Kawhi
I
Leonard
don't know.
is
They're,
not.
they're looking old. That's the thing.
Kawhi Leonard looks beat up, man. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like, even last playoff, I thought it was Superman. Now I'm like, man, this is end of an era, bro. You gotta call it quits.
Yeah, the whole Kawhi thing is kind of it's almost like, how can he call it a quits? I feel like Ballmer got what he wanted. It's the arena.
It's the arena.
It's
Yes.
not even the arena. It's the land. To me, it's the land that the arena sits on. That's what he wanted. Because I don't think they're letting anybody, even if you're a billionaire, they're not letting you buy land downtown LA. Like, he bought land in downtown LA in the 2020s. They're just not giving
Yeah.
that away. You can only buy that from the city. It's not like that shit was for sale.
Yeah.
Like, I believe Ballmer bought it from the city of Inglewood. Like, right by USC, he bought all that land. I don't know. Again, he got what he wanted. He won. Regardless,
Yeah,
he
he
won.
won, man. He won, man. But the Clippers the fan base of the LA Clippers, they lost, bro.
Yeah, they definitely did. But think
They
about it.
lost.
We don't even know who owns the land to most of these arenas. Like, who owns the
Yeah.
land for the crypto for where the Lakers play? We don't know who owns the land. It's not the Laker family.
I don't know who owns the Toyota Center.
Yeah, no, but like, who owns the land that the stadium sits on? That's
Yeah,
different.
we don't know who the hell owns it.
But
Ballmer owns the land, huh?
that's crazy that Ballmer owns the land. That shit is different. That's
Yeah.
different. Like, that is a
But man-
real, like, I don't know, for one person to acquire land in downtown LA in the 2020s, that's some Thomas Jefferson shit.
Yeah, bro. I mean, he's looking at it to the aspect of what he's looking at it as like, yo, I'm gonna have events bigger than the NBA here, Taylor Swift concerts, all that kind of stuff, you know. So he's gonna milk out money from it. But bro, as a fan of basketball and I'm not a Clippers fan, but if I was a Clippers fan, I'd be like, shit, man, we are fucked for a long time with this stuff, man. Because the Clippers, man, Chris Paul does not look like a basketball player anymore. Bradley Beal sucks. You know, James Harden is James Harden. Shout out to James Harden.
No, James Harden is
in it.
killing it this season.
That's what I'm saying. James Harden is James Harden, man. He's the only one that I can say, yo, fuck, man. He's prime basketball. You know, Zubac has declined. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. It's been a sharp decline on Zubac's performance. Derrick Jones is injured and Kawhi is not healthy. It's not a team with a good future. And I also question how long James Harden is really gonna stay in LA, or James Harden just gonna. He's making a shit ton of money in a new stadium. I don't know. I don't know what his agreement is with the Clippers, but man,
Yeah, he
it
has
does
that.
not look like they're winning
He has
anytime
that deal
soon.
that Paul George looked like he was trying to avoid, where he's taking on more responsibility of the Clippers because Kawhi's not there. But meanwhile, Kawhi's making all the big money. It's a weird thing today to be Kawhi's sidekick, because it's almost like you're gonna get the second most money, but you're gonna have the first man
You're gonna be making your
responsibilities.
first option, bro. Your first option.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm just like, but they pay Kawhi like he's not even gonna be around to even be the first option.
No, bro. I mean, like I said, Kawhi, he'll give you good playoff performances, but bro, I think at this point it isn't 2019. I don't like he's not 28 anymore. The good does not outweigh the evil at this point, bro. At some point, you just gotta clip it. Like fuck it, bro. It's over.
Facts.
Bro, Kawhi is 34, bro. Like he's not getting younger, bro. I think his body peaked at 28. That Toronto Raptors run, and ever since then he knew that shit. I'm not gonna lie to you. Kawhi
Think so?
knew during that. I 100% think him and his people knew that his body's done. After the bubble, he knew that shit was done.
He was healthy for the bubble, right?
He was healthy, but they blew that 3-1 lead against the Nuggets.
Yeah, that was his chance. That was the Clippers'
Yeah.
real chance.
Yeah, that bubble shut. No pun intended, but that bubble got bursted after that shit, bro. After that 2020 year.
Yeah,
the
Pat Bev.
Clippers-
Remember all the guys that was on that team? Montrezl
Harrell,
Yeah, Pat
Lou
Bev.
Williams,
Lou Will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zubac, Harden, not Harden. Zubac, Ty Man. A lot of good role players, but it's over, bro. It's it's
Yeah.
over. I think Kawhi and his people knew his body's done after 2019, bro. The fact after that they had to sit him out even more, it's a clear indication that this is not this he is not sustainable, bro.
That's crazy because
He's
Bomer
not-
did that cap circumvention all after that.
Yeah. 100.
That wait, hold on.
Yeah,
That
bro.
cap circumvention started in I think 2021. No,
Yeah.
2022 actually is when the payments started. That shit is crazy. The payments started in 2022, knowing that his body was fucked up by 2020.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, I don't
crazy.
know if he knew, but bro, you can't tell me people within his circle like Uncle Dennis didn't know that this is not sustainable, bro.
Man, my man Uncle Dennis making sure them checks clear. He
Hey,
don't give
bro,
a fuck.
people Uncle Dennis, bro. I'm not gonna lie. If he was my uncle, I'd fucking love
Yeah, he made sure
him.
they got paid.
Bro, not only that, he made sure his son got real estate. His son got fucking everything, bro. Outside of basketball, like, bro,
Mhm.
shout out to Uncle Dennis. I
Yeah.
can't hate on Uncle Dennis.
Yeah, and they were right. They were right to pimp out Steve Ballmer, man, because he spent
Yeah.
when they go over all the paperwork, it's a $500 million cap circumvention. Kawhi didn't get $500 million. It was $500 million to make sure that fake non-profit kept running until they could pay Kawhi the $100 million. It was so ridiculous. It don't even sound real.
Yeah,
That
bro, I
someone
mean,
would pay
dude, the
$500
Lakers,
million for that.
Toronto and the Lakers, they said, all right, bro, like they weren't about negotiating, but the Clippers bit, bro. They kind of had to bid if you're looking at the context of the time, because you remember they gave up Blake Griffin, right? So they kind of had to bite and given up Kawhi. But in hindsight, I'm not gonna lie, I probably wouldn't have given up Kawhi if I knew what Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Oh yeah, they didn't see that coming. Damn. That
Like looking back on it, I think they just thought of giving up Blake Griffin because Blake Griffin was such a big star for LA, and he kind of became the staple of like a stable. Bro? Let's be honest, the Clippers were always a shit show until Blake Griffin came, so he was kind of the face of like stability within the franchise. So they kind of had to bring in Kawhi, but man, in hindsight, looking in, I probably would have just told Kawhi, "Yo, we'll just wait another 4 or 5 years."
Yeah. All right, Samir, this has been
All right,
another
good,
great
bro.
recap. Another great episode, man. Appreciate you. Yo, this season, who do you have so far, by the way?
Oh, this season, like in terms of like going deep,
it's like a running favorite right now. A couple of them. You can name like a couple of teams.
I think Oklahoma's can be our favorites. Obviously, Denver, and on the East, I gotta say, man, the Pistons have really been impressive. And I think it's a toss-up between the Knicks and Cavs. I think the Knicks right now they I think Karl Anthony Towns hasn't really played his peak yet, but I think the Knicks are solid I think the Knicks are gonna be a good team, bro. It's a new system they're kind of getting familiar with, but they're gonna be good.
Hey, those are pretty solid picks. Only thing I would add in the West, I would add Houston in there, man. I have Houston in there.
Oh, I forgot Houston. Houston's deep. Houston's versatile. You could add them. The Lakers, I'm fishy on because I actually want to see the Lakers dominate against better teams. Or
Is LeBron wasting Luka's prime years? Let's keep it a buck.
Ah, man, LeBron.
That's $50
Bro,
million dedicated to LeBron's salary.
It hurts. It hurts because I think the Lakers could bring better personnel, and I think Austin Reeves has really shown out to be someone who can fill in that second option. So I don't think there's much of a dependency to pay LeBron $50 million, but Austin Reeves stepping up to play a second option.
Damn, that's ridiculous. All right, Samir, I appreciate you, man. You guys
Take care,
definitely
bro.
hit up the description below. Check out his Substack. Many dope articles, man. Once again, it's been a crazy NBA season so far, but hey, we'll see how things play out. Samir, until next time.
Take care, brother.
All right, you
Peace.
too, man. Peace.